During a season where more things than not seem to be going the other way, we've had a slight change in the winds. Clutch swings at the plate have led to favorable outcomes on the diamond. And for a change, the Phillies seem to be a slight step ahead. Phillies have already won the series against the Washington Nationals, and tonight they'll go for the series sweep. It's the final game of this three-game set here at Citizens Bank Park, a battle of two teams in second place in the National League East. The Phillies have won 6 straight here at Citizens Bank Park. During the 6-game home winning streak, they've hit .289. They've pitched very well. The starters in particular at 2.32. The overall team ERA, excellent compared to where they were on the last road trip. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Tonight, the Phillies will get a chance to send Kyle Kendrick to the mound against Gio Gonzalez. We'll talk about the former Phil prospect in just a little bit. Well, let's first talk about Michael Young and his somewhat resurgence here in the month of June.
Charlie Manuel's been on a roll lately. One thing he said was Ryan Howard was going to start to hit. He was going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. The other thing he said the other day, he thought Michael Young was going to start to get the ball in the air a little bit more, and the extra base hits would come. Well, he got the ball in the air last night 3 times for 3 extra base hits. There's the first one to left center field. This is the biggest one with Revere running on the 3-2 count. They wind up getting a run out of it. They would wind up with a big inning as it turned out. And Michael Young had another double. And just for good measure, he lines this ball to left field. 3 balls he got up in the air that he hit hard, and all of them for extra base hits. So a great night for Michael Young as far as doubles are concerned and run production. This is what he's done by the month. You see his on-base percentage was high in April. A lot of those were singles, though. And now here in June, he's picking it up again with more extra base hits. And this is a guy who throughout his career has picked up a lot of doubles.
And he has been a 300 hitter for most of his career. He's not there yet, but he is moving north toward that number. All right, the Phillies have a tough matchup tonight. They're facing a guy that was in their farm system for a time, in Gio Gonzalez, who was a 20-game winner a season ago.
One of the best pitchers in the league. 20-game winner, as Tom said, and also over 200 strikeouts. He is really tough. He has a very, very good moving fastball, 90 to 95. He also has a changeup and a curveball. Curveball, fastball, those are his 2 pitches. Fastball number 1, of course. And you see he can be a strikeout pitcher and just bury hitters. He's a tremendous competitor and a guy who got off to a great start last year. This year's numbers not quite as good as far as the decisions go. They've blown a bunch of saves for him, or wins for him with blown saves at the end of games. One thing you have to do with Gio Gonzalez is hope he's a little bit wild. You're not going to get a lot of hits off him. You see the opponent's batting average way down at 200. Last year, 182 through the 14 starts. He's a pitcher that will give you an inning once in a while. Normally, Tom, it's because he'll have some control problems. If you don't get him that inning, you usually don't get him.
Pretty interesting that he's 20 strikeouts, nearly 20 strikeouts less this year at this point compared to a season ago. So it is the final game of this 3-game series between the Phillies and the Washington Nationals. Kyle Kendrick, he's been roughed up a little bit his last handful of starts against Gio Gonzalez. When we return, we'll have the lineups and first pitch from Citizens Bank Park. Phillies baseball. The Washington Nationals together for the third time this week. Kyle Kendrick and the rest of the Phillies have taken the field. Let's take a look at the Nationals starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at center field, Denard Span. Anthony Rendon, the second baseman, bats second. Ryan Zimmerman hits third, followed by Adam LaRoche and Jason Worth. Ian Desmond starts at shortstop. Steve Lombardozzi was just added to the lineup because Roger Bernardina had something in his eye. Kurt Suzuki will bat eighth, and batting ninth and pitching is Gio Gonzalez. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Kyle Kendrick, who has been roughed up a little bit over his last couple of starts, and particularly his last one. On the road trip, he allowed 10 earned runs in 10 1/3 innings.
Well, he got Coors Fielded the other day, and that will happen when you go out and play in that ballpark. If you're not if you don't have your stuff down, and he was up in that game, you can really get hit hard, and he did. Here's our Budweiser scouting report. Normally, Kyle really goes out there and competes, keeps his team in the ball game, and that's what you want from him, using that changeup sinker mix. And he's pitched a lot against these Washington Nationals, as you would imagine. And he lost the game to them earlier this year, 5-2 to Jordan Zimmerman. Time now for a Nissan keys to tonight's ball game. Well, sweep the series, and you have to have some patience with Gio Gonzalez. He will maybe give you an inning once in a while with his lack of command. And Chooch, well, he goes back-to-back games, and that's a real good sign that he came out of last night. He's just fine. He go right back out there and play again tonight.
Pretty active in last night's ball game, which was a very good sign. Denard Span leads it off. Span was 0 for 4 in yesterday's ball game. And he hits the first pitch out to left field. Lazy fly ball. And Dominic Brown comes under it to make the catch. One pitch, one set aside here in the first. A reminder that tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Bill Kulick and Ricky Ricardo will handle the call of tonight's ball game. There's Ricky to your right and Bill to your left. Rendon is the batter. He takes a strike.
They speak Spanish really well.
They do.
It's just really good Spanish.
They speak English
well
too.
Yeah. Well, one of them has a head start in that.
Just off the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, they've carved themselves a very nice niche in the city of Philadelphia.
Yep.
Both Bill and Ricky
do a good job. Angel's over there with them too. They good broadcasters.
1-1 pitch to Rendon. And he lines it towards second base on one hop. Franzen has it, throws to first, dug out by Ryan Howard. What a play all the way around. Ball was bouncing, bodies were flying. And there are 2 outs.
That's to get out the calliope on that one. That was like a circus play. Unbelievable, all the stuff that happened in there. And Kevin Franzen is a very good golfer, and you saw him replace his divot here too, which is very nice. But let's go to the play. It looks like a base hit off the bat, and now it looks like he's never going to be able to get under control enough to throw, or accurately enough. He gets it in the area, and Ryan Howard does the rest.
A great scoop by Howard. A nice play by Franzen. 2 outs on 4 pitches. Here's Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman 3 for 7 so far in the series. The first pitch in tight, 1 ball, no strikes.
It's a real good way for Kyle Kendrick to get started, obviously, after getting lit up in that game at Coors Field.
Kyle allowed 10 hits and 7 runs in 4 1/3. The Phillies wound up winning that game. It was their only win in Denver. Decided to go with a changeup to Zimmerman.
Yeah, they came from behind to win that ball game. Real nice come from behind effort late.
Kyle's numbers against the East. He has pitched 1 game against the Nationals. It was on the 24th of May. Lost that one 5-2. Ryan Zimmerman has 11 hits against Kendrick. 7 of those hits are doubles. And now the 1-2 pitch. On the outside corner, a 2-seamer that ran back. First strikeout of the evening for Kyle Kendrick. He sets the Nationals down in order. He uses 9 pitches to do it. We go to the bottom of the first on the heels of Kyle Kendrick's initial strikeout and a darn good pitch to wrap up the first. Gonzalez loosening up on the mound for the Nationals. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at center field, Ben Revere. Michael Young, the third baseman, bats second. Jimmy Rollins hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Dominic Brown. Delman Young, the right fielder, hits sixth. Kevin Franz seventh. And Carlos Ruiz and Kyle Kendrick round out the lineup for the Phillies. And they'll face 27-year-old left-hander Gio Gonzalez, who won 21 games a season ago. He's 3-3 this year in 14 starts.
When we put out those things before the season last year, who would influence their teams in the league, and that was the one I got right. Gio Gonzalez, he had a tremendous season, as Tom just said. And here's our Budweiser scouting report on this guy. 3 quality pitches, especially his fastball and curveball. He'll throw mostly those 2 pitches or mix in changeup. Good numbers against the Phillies. He's only pitched 4 games against them, has decisions in all of them, and they were all last year, so they've seen a lot of him.
Well, some of these guys also saw him in the minor leagues when he pitched for the Reading Phillies. And Revere leads it off, takes strike 1. Revere is 1 for 4 against, 2 for 3 against Gonzalez. He's hit it 9 straight. His average up to 274.
Gio Gonzalez basically 72% fastballs and 24% curveballs, and he'll throw a few changeups. So he's a 2-pitch pitcher with 2 real big-time out pitches. The only thing is, once in a while, he'll get a little bit wild, and if you can have a little patience with him, sometimes you can get some runs that way.
A liner toward left center field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Lombardozzi cuts it off and gets the throw in quickly. And Ben Revere has hit it 10 consecutive games.
Good job by him to take him the other way. And they play him, because they're going to play him way over near the line, especially off a hard-throwing lefty. So when that ball went to dead straight away left field, it turns into a hit for Ben Revere. You'll see Lombardozzi come into your screen pretty quickly. He hits a curveball there, and he hits it where the left fielder normally plays a batter. But in Ben's case, they're over near the line. He does a nice job cutting it off. He got a real nice high hop, too.
Well, now let's see what Michael Young could do with Revere over at first. Now, Revere's hit it 10 straight. The other piece of that puzzle is that he has scored 8 runs during that 10-game hitting streak. Coming into tonight, he had 8 runs in his last 9 games. Michael Young takes a strike.
Well, Young would be one of those guys that give him a chance to run, too, if he wants to, as you see him take a fastball for a strike. Guys don't necessarily want to have 2 strikes on them, but a guy like Young will do it early in the count.
Out of play, and it's 0-2 to Michael Young. Young 288, 2 home runs and 15 runs batted in. He's 4 for 9 in the 2 games. That includes 3 doubles last night.
Yeah, we talked about in the opening. Charlie had mentioned that the other day, that he was starting to get the ball in the air a little bit more. He thought he'd get some extra base hits, and he did. but he knows how he's been grounding into so many double plays. And one of the reasons is he hits them so hard right at people. So you get those kind of balls in the air with that velocity on them, they'll go somewhere.
Outside and low, 2-2. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Beth Becker of Walnutport. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, and Beth will win $200.
Gonzalez is working on his normal day right now, and he threw 127 pitches his last start. I'd like to see if they can make him work a little bit here tonight.
The 2-2 hit in the air to deep left field. Going back is Lombardozzi. Back to the track it is. Gone! A two-run home run for Michael Young. The Phillies take the early lead, and Michael Young climbs over 1,000 RBIs for his career.
Yeah, what a way to do it, too, with a home run off this guy. Tough pitcher. There he is getting the ball in the air again. We just got finished talking about how he's hitting it hard. He gets it in the air, and good things can happen. Got a fastball up a little bit, and Gio knew that was going to be problems, especially here. In his ballpark, you might think, that could be a double, but not here.
Well, Ben Revere obviously excited about the early lead. Jimmy Rollins will be the batter. And Rollins pops the first pitch into shallow center field. And Denard Span is there, and there's one out. By the way, that home run by Michael Young has won Beth Becker of Walnutport $200. He is the 19th active player to reach 1,000 RBIs. And he's only this is, I think, is stunning, the 242nd all time to reach 1,000 RBIs.
Yeah, when you throw out numbers like that, as long as this game's been played, yeah. That isn't a whole lot of players to reach that number when you consider how many people have played the game.
Well, the RBI became an official statistic back in 1920. So it's since 1920. Howard takes outside and low, 1-0.
Still a lot of bodies since then.
Well, you figure 2,000 hits plus. He has more than 2,000. Plus now 1,001 runs batted in. That is one heck of a career.
Well, these hard ground balls are turning into extra base hits now, and that's what they hoped would happen.
Speaking of RBIs, as we take a look at our Mazda RBI leaders all time in Phillies history, Ryan Howard is tied with Sam Thompson.
Oh, I didn't say that hit him. Hey, look. That was funny.
He's laughing. Gio Gonzalez is laughing.
So what did it do? Draw blood or something? Wait a minute. What are you looking for? Well, he's throwing some nasty hooks to him. The one that he almost hit him with didn't break.
Ryan is 4 for 5 in the series. And he lays off. It's 3-2.
Facing Gio Gonzalez in your left hand, he's throwing you these hooks. You wouldn't mind getting grazed like that. I'll take him to base. Left-handed hitters off Gonzalez are only hitting 176 coming into this game. There's a reason for that.
Swing and a miss. 2 outs. First strikeout for Gonzalez. 83 on the year.
He threw all those curveballs to him, then painted with a 93 fastball. And he looked like he was just trying to foul that off in the last second. It's almost like he was looking for another curveball. Tough to do that with a guy that has as much fastball as this guy.
Dominic has 2 hits and 8 at bats during the series. His average is 275. They appeal. No swings as Ted Barrett, the crew chief, over at third. ground ball toward first. That's a foul ball. First base umpire made that call once the ball went past the first base bag. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. The Marlins and the Diamondbacks played earlier today, and the D-backs defeated Miami 3-1. Cody Ross homered against his former club, a 3-run shot.
Late in the game, hit it off Dunn, the left-hander. Mike Dunn.
Jose Fernandez was the losing pitcher for the Marlins.
Oh, what a nice night.
Beautiful.
Yeah, best of the year.
Gorgeous day. Curveball inside, 3-2.
Well, they haven't given him an easy inning, that's for sure, and they have a couple runs off Gonzalez. Mentioned he threw a lot of pitches his last time out. As you look at the weather, just a beautiful night, 77 degrees at game time. Make him work, maybe get him out of there a little bit early, too.
Michael Young has given the Phils a 2-0 lead. Three-two pitch to Dominic Brown. Fastball swung on and missed. 95 on that one. Second strikeout for Gonzalez. Side is retired. 24 pitches for Gio Gonzalez. One of them left the yard. As Michael Young's 2-run home run, his third of the year, went over 1,000 runs batted in, and he's given the Phillies the lead. The New York Mets for a 3-game series. It starts Friday night at 7:05. Saturday is a 4:05 first pitch. After the game, Modell's Sporting Goods Kids Run the Bases. And then on Sunday, all fans 14 and under receive that great T-shirt right there. It's the Cliff Lee T-shirt. Compliments of IBEW Local 98. For tickets, go to Phillies.com or stop by the box office tomorrow, Friday, or throughout the weekend. We start the second. Phillies lead at 2-0. Adam LaRoche leads it off. And LaRoche takes a two-seamer for a strike. It's 0-1. LaRoche 10 home runs, 30 runs batted in. He won the Silver Slugger Award last year for the best offensive first baseman. In fact, Ian Desmond won it for shortstop.
Good choices.
Not a bad spot with that cutter. And it's 2-1 according to Alfonso Marquez. We mentioned that Kendrick has a winning record this year against the National League East. Well, over his last 15 starts against teams from the NL East, he's 11-2 with an earned run average of 2.82. A lot of that is because he traditionally has success against the Atlanta Braves. And 3-1. Hot shot through the hole on the right side. A base hit for LaRoche. And the Nationals have their first hit of the night. Well, last night Cliff Lee pitched an exceptional game, and after the game he provided our Geico quote of the day on his future in Philadelphia. I want to win. I signed to win here. If that was misconstrued, meaning last week, that I want to play someplace else, that's not the case. I want to play here. He also went on to say is if his honesty bothers some people, he doesn't care. He said that's how he's always been, and that's how he always will be.
He's not a real big filter guy.
Well, he was really good last night.
Oh, good all year.
Now has 9 wins.
He was good last year.
Worth was 2 for 5, or excuse me, was 2 for 8 in the last 2 games. There's a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Popped up right side. Ryan Howard backpedals and makes the catch. Kyle Kendrick wanted him to throw the ball to the first base bag because LaRoche was just casually, and I mean casually, going back to the bag.
LaRoche almost hurt himself because of that. As you described it, Tom, and what LaRoche did is what you never want to see a runner do is jam their foot right back into the bag. Very awkwardly here. Watch how he goes into the bag. This is how you hurt your ankle. Right there. Those are the kind of things you can really get hurt. Blow a tire too. Get a hamstring problem. That's a nice job by Kyle Kendrick coming in there.
You know, if Howard had thrown it and led him to the bag, they may have gotten
him. Yeah.
Here's Desmond, who's reached base safely in 19 of 20 games. The streak ended last night. Kendrick in his previous start against the Nationals went 5 innings, allowed 8 hits and 5 earned runs. I think his biggest problem in that game is that he walked 4, which is part of the reason why he lasted only 5 innings. Plus he had allowed the 5 earned runs, and they needed to get some more offense for him.
You walk 4 in Denver, and you can be headed for problems because you're going to give up hits there too. Just a different place to pitch, and most guys are very happy that they just go in there one time a year. Wouldn't want to be in that division.
Out of play, remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Great city, great ballpark, great fans, everything about it, except the games they're a little wacko.
Yeah, in that game last time he allowed 10 hits in 4 1/3. He walked a couple. As we said, the Phillies came back and won it 8-7. He didn't feel good in that game coming out of the bullpen. He didn't like the way his sinker felt in that game. And he was right around the plate, which is why they picked up 10 hits.
Good idea. They've been pitching him away for the most part in this at bat. Try to come inside. Freeze him with a breaking ball cutter, I guess. Alfonso Marquez, we were talking about him the other night. Telling that Larry Boa story about him.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him with a sinker. Second strikeout for Kendrick.
As Tom said, a sinker. He really pitched him well. He moved the ball around very well on him. Threw him a lot of sinkers in that at bat and finally got him to swing over one.
Now Lombardozzi. We mentioned that Lombardozzi was not in the original starting lineup, a switch hitter. Roger Bernardino was scheduled to start. Bernardino's hitting just 180. Lombardozzi not a whole lot better at 224. But somehow Bernardino came up with something in his eye that was just affecting him so much that he couldn't play. Whether he's available to pinch hit later on, well, that remains to be seen. Lombardozzi is 2 for 7 in the series so far. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's a great pitch to throw and then throw a change up away to a left-handed hitter. Whether he meant to come in that much or not, that can be very effective to get a guy out away.
He does go the other way. Dominic Brown had him played beautifully, had to battle the sun a little bit to make that catch. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second. Phillies up 2. Insider Jeff Mosher joins Philly Sports Talk to discuss his predictions for the Eagles' depth chart. Plus, get a live Heat Spurs preview from Miami before Game 7. All that and a full preview of this weekend's series with the Mets. Philly Sports Talk tomorrow night at 5. Heat pulled out that game last night in overtime, amazingly. They were down by, I think it was 13 when I got into the car in the 4th quarter. They wound up tying it. They were down 5 in the last minute plus.
How do you think the NBA feels about getting the 7th game out? Pretty good, huh?
I believe they're ecstatic about it. I also
would think so.
I also wonder, and we really shouldn't deviate into somebody else's lane, but I also wonder what they thought about the non-call at the end of overtime when Chris Bosh looked as if he had fouled the shooter taking a 3. That's been a big topic today.
I'll let you handle the basketball, but all I could think was, oh, I bet they're crushed that they aren't having that they're having a 7th game.
Yeah, they're probably pretty happy.
Yeah.
0-2 to Delman Young. last time there was a 7th game was when the Lakers won their last championship, and they had to win games 6 and 7. So the Heat are hoping that the same thing happens for them.
Well, now they don't care. They got that 7th game.
One ball, 2 strikes to Delman Young, 1 for 5 in the series. Swing and a miss. And there's 1 away. 3 straight strikeouts for Gonzalez.
Well, he'll get his strikeouts.
During the 2013 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream. Sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Kevin Franzen has hit it 6 straight games. He had a big hit in last night's ball game. Drove in 2. Runs 3 and 4 in last night's game to help the Phils to a 4-1 lead at the time. Eventually they won it 4-2. Breaking ball, and it's 1-1.
And home run we mentioned by Gonzalez, thrown by Gonzalez to Michael Young, only his 9th of the year, but also only the 2nd that he's thrown with anybody on base. Threw a 3-run homer earlier in the year.
Part of that is his deception, but it's also probably his ballpark. It's a big ballpark.
Yeah. Well, he has swing and miss pitches. He's just one of those guys, as Davey Johnson looks on there, that it's hard to get a guy with the natural stuff that he has, to make guys swing and miss as much as he does.
1-2 pitch to Franzen. He fouls it down the right field line.
You see major league hitters swing and miss at a guy a lot. Something's going on there. They're just different.
Four straight strikeouts for Gonzalez as Franzen goes down looking. There were 2 outs. Here comes Carlos Ruiz playing in his 2nd straight game since coming off the disabled list. And speaking of the disabled list, let's check in with Murph, who has an update on Eric Kratz.
Yeah, speaking of the disabled list and speaking of catchers, I had a good conversation with Eric Kratz. Good to see him back here at the ballpark. And I'll tell you what, he had surgery about a week ago and says he is feeling terrific. He's walking right now. Knee surgery, obviously, he had. And he's walking without a limp. He said he was on crutches for about a day, and he's really feeling good. He's able to get down into a crouch. Now, the original prognosis was 6 weeks for him before he could get back to action. He really believes that timetable is going to be able to be moved up. Hasn't been able to do anything baseball related quite yet because he still has the stitches in his knees, but he's going to get them out on Friday, guys, and he's hoping that he's going to be able to get back out there and take some swings and see where he's at. So maybe that timetable moves up on Eric Kratz.
Well, I think it's all optimistic, and they didn't know, Murph, and we talked about this. They didn't know what shape his knee was going to be in until they did the surgery. And they were pretty optimistic that it was a best case scenario once they went in there. Carlos pulls it toward third on 1 hop to Zimmerman. Boy, it is painful to watch him throw sometimes from third base, but he got the job done. The Phillies go down in order. 6 in a row retired by Gonzalez, and we go to the top of the 3rd. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, who holds the Expos/Nationals franchise record for most wins in a season? So we can go back to Montreal for that one. Some of the great pitchers they had there, like Steve Rogers.
Oh, man, that was going to be my answer, and you wouldn't do that. So thank you.
That is a good point. I wouldn't have done that.
No. That was going to be my answer.
2-0 Phillies as we go to the top of the third. And joining us up here in the booth is the Phils' #1 pick, the 16th overall pick in this year's draft. It's J.P. Crawford out of Lakewood High School in California. J.P., congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on your signing. Welcome to Philadelphia. What do you think about this whole thing?
Oh, I love it. We've got diehard fans here, and I can't wait to get playing.
Well, J.P. is 18 years old, and you would have gone to USC but decided to sign with the Phillies. Are you excited about just getting your entire future going?
Oh, yeah. I just want to start playing already.
Well, Kurt Suzuki is going to lead it off against Kyle Kendrick as we go to the third.
One of the things, JP, about your situation coming out of high school, a great college offer, SC, big time. What made you want to go play baseball right away?
It's always been my dream to play in the MLB, and I got the chance, so I said, why not?
This organization, you know something about? The Phillies have been pretty good the last few years. You have a pretty good idea this is a pretty good place to come to?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And with Shane being drafted last year,
yeah.
One of my brothers, basically. That made it even better.
There's a curveball from Kendrick. It's 0-2. JP's referring to Shane Watson, who was selected by the Phillies last season, who's in their system right now, pitching for the Lakewood Blue Claws. What did he tell you when you got drafted, when he found out that the Phillies had taken you?
He said, oh, my God, I know. I called this. I called it. Yeah, he just told me that just to be ready. It's going to be a grind.
Yeah, I guess he understands that already, just being in the system less than a year.
Hey, you know, you're a shortstop right now. A lot of kids, when they're 17, 18, and they're drafted, they're shortstops. They get bigger, stronger. They move to another position. Do you picture yourself wanting to play shortstop your whole career?
Yes. I want to be a shortstop. I want to take over, or when Jimmy's done, I want to carry his place.
Did you tell him that?
No, not in person.
We did see your interview on the MLB Network. I thought it was great. I thought you were confident, you were comfortable, and I think he would have appreciated that too, being the kind of player and person that he is. Mm-hmm. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Kurt Suzuki as we begin the third. When did you know, JP, that you had a chance to be selected in the first round? Was there a point in your summer, your June, going into your senior year? Was there a point during your senior year where you thought this could happen?
During the fall, I was playing scout ball, and my name just kept moving up in the ranks, and then by June it was up there. So hard work pays off.
Hey, I saw you down there before the before tonight started talking to Charlie Manuel. What was that like?
It was a dream come true, really, and talking to Jimmy Rollins and Ryan Howard. Like, when I was little, I looked up to these kinds of guys, and to finally meet them, it's a dream come true.
Charlie didn't talk hitting with you or anything, did he?
We were just talking about how many home runs he's seen, the farthest balls that Ryan's hit that he's seen.
4-3 on the putout. Suzuki's retired. Gio Gonzalez is coming up. Well, there's John Mayberry, who you got a chance to chat with. I know you also got a chance to talk to Delman Young, who's a California kid, and Michael Young, who's a California guy. What did Michael say to you?
He just said to play the game right and to run hard on every play, just to be remembered that you're a hard worker. And that'll carry a good rep for you through your career.
It's a pretty good guy to get that advice from. 2,000 hits, 1,000 RBIs. That's pretty good advice from him.
Oh yeah.
So what are your plans now? What's in the next week or so for you? Have they laid it out for you?
Oh yeah, I head to Clearwater tomorrow to start playing.
Gonzalez takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
We have to make sure you meet the Sarge before you leave. Gary Matthews. He's a Valley guy. He's from the San Fernando Valley.
Really?
Big SC guy, too. Oh, yeah.
Although he would have gone to the school where your sister is currently playing softball.
Fullerton?
He would have gone to Cal State Fullerton if he had not signed with the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, he just talks SC all the time, especially when they were really good in football.
Yeah.
Here are some of the particulars on JP. Obviously, the Phillies selected him 16th overall this year, .452 batting average, 17 stolen bases. Set some records for your high school. And we understand that you found out recently that you're Carl Crawford's cousin, and you got a chance to meet him. What was that like to get a chance to meet him?
Oh, that was crazy because his brother texted me earlier in the year and saying, hey, are we related and all this stuff. I was like, yeah. So then we met up, and then he took me out to some Dodger games and just had a good time.
That's great. Here's Span, who bunts up the third base line. Kendrick off the
be an
mound
athlete.
quickly, and oh boy, what a throw, and what a pick by Ryan Howard. 1-3 on the putout. Was that athletic enough for you?
Yeah, that was nice.
That was pretty nice. 1, 2, 3, go the Nationals. JP, best of luck. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to seeing you playing on that infield in a couple of years and making plays like that, like Kyle Kendrick just did. So good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
All right, we go to the bottom of the third. The Phillies lead it 2-0. They're getting some pretty good defense by the big man over at first base. That play in the first inning, the play here. Do some credit to Kyle Kendrick, too. Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Phillies got a clutch 2-run home run by Michael Young in the first, and they've also gotten some clutch defense by Franzen, Kendrick, and how about Ryan Howard at first?
And how about the guy J.P. Crawford wanted to be an athlete? Here he is. That was funny when he said that.
Yeah, Kendrick no doubt is an athlete. J.P. turned down a scholarship to go to USC. Kendrick turned down a scholarship to play football and baseball at Washington State.
Kyle fields his position very, very well. You know, guy throws a lot of sinkers and changeups. That really helps because you're going to have some action out there.
That wasn't a slow runner that was going too.
No, heck of a play he made. You've seen him on the ground making plays like that.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Kendrick. Swing and a miss, and 5 strikeouts for Gio Gonzalez. Back to the top of the order for Ben Revere. Well, Murph, J.P. Crawford got a chance to talk to a lot of guys today. We said Michael Young, but he also had a nice conversation inside with Jimmy Rollins. What did they talk about?
He did have a nice conversation with Jimmy Rollins, and he also had a great conversation, Tom, with Charlie Manuel, which I was a part of. You know, he said it was a dream come true to meet Charlie Manuel. And so Charlie, basically, in true Charlie fashion, said to him, well, it's very nice to meet you. Can you hit? He said, yeah. He said, can you run? Are you fast? He said, yeah. And he's like, well, then it's good to have you aboard. And he went on to say that, you know, he's going to be watching him. He's going to be keeping tabs on his career. And I think that really impressed JP. And also, he said, let me tell you, son, you have a great handshake. And that's an important thing, too. So he was very impressed with his handshake as well. So it was a great conversation between Charlie and he.
Ben Revere nearly beat that bunt out, but a good play by Rendon.
It's funny you should say that, Merv. I said that the time between innings that the kid has some handshake.
You know what? And when I met him, I thought the same thing, Will. So
wow.
You can't go wrong with a good handshake.
And he looks you right in the eye, too. Yeah. Those are 2 characteristics that are impressive.
You know, and I thought his conversation that he told you guys with Michael Young was really great because you know, that's really some sage advice from a guy who's been around for a long time on the way to play this game, and hopefully he took that to heart. He seems like the kind of guy that would.
Well, Michael Young, who homered his last time up, he's a California guy, just like JP. The first pitch on the outside corner.
Really good effort there by Ben Revere, too, to drag it like that off a left-handed pitcher because he can't get there. And a little bit too hard, but Rendon made a heck of a play with the flip to just bang him at first. Michael Young in the first inning. Got a fastball out over the plate a little bit. You see Gio Gonzalez put his head down right away, and they said, well, I'll take a look anyway. And it was where he thought it was going to be. Trouble. Swinging well. All of a sudden, you notice you're going to run more deep counts. It's amazing. When a hitter sees the ball well, how much he hits ahead in the count.
Opposite way, Jason Worth heading back and reaches out to make the catch. And the side is retired. 9 in a row retired by Gio Gonzalez. We've played our first 3 here in South Philadelphia. Phils lead the Nationals 2-0. Hunger at the office, you don't have to wait in line at the concession stand. WB Mason has an all-star lineup of snacks and beverages that keep your break room stocked. We go to the 4th. The Phillies on top 2-0 thanks to a home run by Michael Young. And Kyle Kendrick will go to work against Anthony Rendon, Ryan Zimmerman, and Jason Worth. Kendrick has allowed 1 hit so far. That was a single to Adam LaRoche. I should say he'll be facing Rendon, Zimmerman, and LaRoche. Rendon was retired by Kevin Franzen his first time up. Fly ball, shallow right center field. Playable for Ben Revere. 1 pitch, 1 away here in the 4th. Sarge, you get a chance to meet J.P. Crawford?
Oh, yeah. Made it a point to. As a matter of fact, I told him we had a lot in common. I was number 16 and also number 1. And the first thing I did, obviously, in shaking his hand, which was, thought he was going to break it, kind of remind me, believe it or not, of Hank Aaron, the way that he would actually shake your hand, and it was just so big. But I asked him the same thing Charlie did. I said, hey, can you hit? And he said, yeah, I can hit. So I didn't know if he was really sure, and I asked him again, hey, can you really hit? He said, yeah, I can really hit. I said, well, listen, congratulations. And I said that, you know, just remember to have fun. And the way you have fun is simple. H-I-T-S.
Hits. So you hit.
That's right. But he was really excited, and I think more excited, and just kind of taking it all in here. And you do that, too, though, when you're coming from an amateur. And then to be able to be drafted, you know, by a team that has as much history as the Phillies. Boy, it's hard to describe the feeling you have when you get ready to sign. I wanted to ask him about, you know, is his mom and dad involved with it, or do you have an agent? Because at the time when I signed, you know, it was my mom and my stepdad that was actually doing the negotiations. And all I knew is that I wanted to sign under any circumstances. And everything worked out. Everything worked out well.
Zimmerman takes it inside. It's 2-2. A changeup from Kendrick. Well, his mom, his dad, and his sisters were here today for the press conference. Mentioned his one sister plays softball at Cal State Fullerton. His dad played football at Iowa State and played in the CFL.
Wow. Well, he's a natural athlete then, you would think.
2-2 to Zimmerman. Broke his bat. Ground ball to shortstop. Backhanded by Rollins. 2 outs.
Boy, he does that play as good as any.
Friday, July 5th, the Phillies start a 3-game series with the Atlanta Braves. 2 night games. And then the day game on Sunday. Saturday, the 7:15 start. All women 15 and over receive the Mama Lucia Meatballs Ladies Night prints. It'll be given out when they come to the yard. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets for that 3-game series. Braves and the Mets are scoreless in the 3rd. LaRoche singled his first time up.
Kind of like that pitch. It was a little cutter as he threw that ball on the inside part of the plate. LaRoche likes the ball out over the plate. One of the umpires that you don't really have to swing at the balls when they're on the corners. You get the benefit of the doubt. But he could throw that pitch again. Fonso would actually call it a strike. Roach off to a slow start this year. Not really a great year last year, hitting wise, fielding. One of the better fielders in the league.
He was walking away. That looked like a pretty good pitch, and it was called a strike by Marquez. So 3-2.
I actually thought it was down just a little bit as Phillies do their own shift. 3-1. They actually moved all the way over to the right, thinking that the Roach is going to pull the ball.
Well, that's what he did his last time. They didn't have the shift on, though. Rollins is to the right of second base. Franzen's in shallow right field. And Michael Young back to his natural position of shortstop. A reminder from Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designated driver. See how frustrated Carlos was that he couldn't hang on to that foul ball.
Yeah, those are either land in your glove or not. See a good movement on it. See how that ball dipped down though after it was fouled. So on those foul tips, even though he got upset, they either stick there or they're just gone. Not like you can actually try and catch it on a foul tip.
Swing and a miss. He got it with a fastball. Third strikeout for Kendrick. Retires the side in order for the second straight inning. He's retired 9 in a row. This ball had some great movement down and in against Adam LaRoche. A sinker that was bearing down. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By WB Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most innovative lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Jimmy Rollins starts it off. He flied to center his first time up. And Gio Gonzalez delivers a curveball. Gio Gonzalez spent 4 years with the Oakland A's in the big leagues. It was 38-32 before being traded to the Nationals. He was 21-8 last year with a 2.89 earned run average. Finished third in the Cy Young voting as the Nationals had the best record in baseball. Outside 3-1.
Well, he's a hard thrower. Had really great command last year. For whatever reason, left-handers, their balls seem to be moving all the time. Whether or not it's a cutter or two-seamer.
Rollins works out a walk. He's the first base runner since the home run by Michael Young. Well, speaking of Gonzalez, tonight's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Gio Gonzalez struck out 207 batters last season, become the first DC-based pitcher to strike out 200 or more since Walter Johnson struck out 228 in 1916.
Wow.
Tonight he has 5 strikeouts to give him 87 on the year.
Now you get those early strikes on you, it can make you swing at that ball that's in the dirt. Has a fastball, has a tendency to tail away from the right-handed hitters. These kind of pitchers, for me, you want to kind of crowd them and take away that bread and butter, which is that outside part of the plate, even though he will come in. If you're a little closer to the plate, don't have to worry about the outside corner.
Phillies acquired Gio Gonzalez when they traded Jim Thome to the White Sox. They got Aaron Rowan, Gio Gonzalez, one more minor league pitcher. Then they traded him back to the White Sox when they picked up Freddie Garcia. Ryan Howard nearly hit with that pitch, just as he was nearly hit in his first at bat.
Yeah, you know, and talking with Ryan and told him, hey, it doesn't really matter how you're hitting. They're going to pitch you tough. period, because you're present. You can hit the ball out of that ballpark. In a key situation, even though he may not be hitting, they'll give him the intentional walk.
He'll appeal. No swing, says Ted Barrett.
Really lucky on that. Again, when you take a pitch, your bat should be back, not moving forward. That's how you get those check swings there. You know, the balls are a ball. You got to make sure that you locate it, put a good swing on it.
Went a little softer with that curve at 77.
Yeah, that's a hittable pitch too, because that one up in the zone, and it's, as you mentioned, a lot slower. If it's a fastball up there, you might want to lay off of that one. If he can get a jump, you'd like for Jimmy Rollins to go on and try and maybe steal a base.
Well, how about now? Will this be a run and hit, you think?
This should be almost be automatic run, even though, again, Howard has a tendency to strike out. When you're running to steal the base. So you're not just running there as if it's going to be a hit and run. Ryan Howard needs to be disciplined enough to be able to get a strike.
Rollins goes, pitches swung out and missed. The throw to second is right in the base path. Strikeout, throw out, double play.
See, and I think more so for me, running to stay out of a double play, not really getting a jump, being deliberate, making sure that he's actually going home. Pretty good pitch, though. It was a ball low and away and got him by plenty. Again, didn't get a good jump at all on that one. Pretty good slide, though. Tried to hook away on the inside.
Dominic Brown struck out his only time up. By the way, that's only the sixth base runner that Suzuki's thrown out trying to steal this year.
Yeah, well.
But you're right, he had an advantage. It was a run and hit instead of a.
Yeah, he was making sure that ball was delivered, and you're just kind of staying out of that double play, if you will, if he had to hit it on the ground.
If he was going with a straight steal, he would have left once Gonzalez lifted his leg.
Or on really first movement.
First movement.
But same thing, lift that leg up if that's your key.
Charlie just had a word with Jimmy Rollins. He may have been telling him the same thing, in that spot, just straight steal.
Well, that's the way you have to do it, again, because you have a guy that has a tendency to strike out.
(3-1) to Dominic Brown. High fastball, 3-2. Well, with the 6-3 ball counts, it's lifted his pitch count to 65 at this point. But he's picking up one strikeout after another. He has 7 strikeouts through 4 innings of work. Phillies go down quietly in their half of the fourth. We've completed our first 4 with Jason Worth due to lead it off for the Nets. Make sure you stop by where the Phillies wives are holding silent auction to benefit some of the rescued cats and dogs from the Pennsylvania SPCA. Fans are invited to bring new and gently used blankets, pet toys, and pet treats to the ballpark. But again, there'll be silent auction items that'll be on sale, and all proceeds will benefit the Pennsylvania SPCA. The Phillies wives are putting this together. It's the Phillies wives Save a Pet at the Park this Saturday. Jason Worth leads it off for the Nationals as we go to the bottom of the, or top of the fifth, excuse me. Worth popped out to Howard his first time up. I think Kendrick throws him something soft, a changeup. Now he's been mixing in that curveball a couple times. That surprising pitch. Well,
that'll get them off of the other pitches. Anytime you end up throwing a pitch they haven't really seen, they go back and look at tapes and ask him about a certain pitch, especially a curveball. And he's been throwing mostly, well, fastballs that change up the cutter, an occasional slider.
Low, 2-1.
He hasn't really gotten started with his swing. He does have 7 home runs. He's had injuries.
Gets that one back toward the middle. Rollins will get there. Spins, throws in time.
Wow.
Jason Worth called himself safe, but the ball was already nestled in the glove of Ryan Howard at that point. That's a fine play by Jimmy Rollins, who said he's made this play since he was a teenager. He always practiced it while playing shortstop out in California.
Well, he does that 360 as good as anyone, and actually a patent, you're right, himself. Well, I tell you what, even though he doesn't hit the way he should, always smiling in the field, making all-star plays after all-star plays.
Desmond takes strike one.
A lot of times when you're not hitting the way you should, you end up not really playing or concentrating in defense. I know that shouldn't happen, but I tell you what, in J-Ro's case, it almost never happens. He plays excellent defense.
Chopper over to third, picked up by Michael Young. And there are 2 outs. Well, if you look at fielding percentages among shortstops in Major League Baseball, Jimmy is among the leaders.
Yeah.
Year in and year out.
Year in and year out, especially with the percentage. You take a look at him now. I was really surprised with J.J. Hardy. And then when you look at some of the other great shortstop, Omar Vizquel, you would think he was number 1. It shows you how valuable, though, Troy Tulowitzki is for the Colorado Rockies. Not only does he a good fielder, excellent hitter, and Mike Bordick, too. I mean, those are just excellent fielders. And boy, when you have guys fielding the ball like that, it just makes your defense so much better because you're not making those careless type of errors.
Now, if you're wondering where Ozzie Smith was on that list, some people say that Ozzie's percentage is not up there because he was able to get to more baseballs than other guys, so he had more opportunities. And sometimes his percentage was lower because he would make some errors that other guys wouldn't get to. Certain balls.
Good point. Good point in that.
3 groundouts for Kyle Kendrick. The final one to Kevin Franzen as we finish up the top of the 5th. explains his ability to play all over the field and how TV sitcoms helped him. Plus, Don Brown reminisces about his Major League debut. Watch Phillies Clubhouse Thursday night at 6:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Last of the fifth, Phillies up 2-0. They have 2 hits tonight. A single by Revere to begin the first, and then the 2-run home run by Michael Young. And that's it against Gio Gonzalez. Ground ball toward the hole, backhanded by Desmond.
Oh, boy. What a strong arm. That play looked so easy. Was not an easy play as he backhand that ball and got in position. Shows you what his arm is all about. Take a look at it as he comes in there and sets himself up, telling you, on the move. Gets him by plenty. And on the line, what?
Desmond's error total has gone down over the last handful of years. He's at 7 errors so far this season. Kevin Franzen struck out his first time up. Franzen's hit it in 6 straight.
A lot of times they'll always say, boy, those really good pitchers, you got to get at them early because they start to find it and get into a groove. Very difficult to have hits against them or to score runs. Been throwing that hard curveball or slider in the dirt. See where he's going to go with this pitch.
Ground ball to third. Ryan Zimmerman makes the throw across the diamond, and there are 2 outs.
Well, I know he's getting it over, but I got to tell you, every time he throws the ball, my arm hurts. Take a look at it. One of the better hitters in the game, one of the better players, for whatever reason, just doesn't throw the ball hard over there to first base. He kind of floats it over there. Nevertheless, it gets there, and all you're looking for is results.
I watched him play catch today with Adam LaRoche. This is he seems to do every day, and he was throwing fine. It's just there's something between his shoulder problems and just something in his head. At least it seems that way.
Well, I mean, it is. And there's a lot of players that have kind of gone through that. Steve Sachs had that same type of disease.
Adam LaRoche picks that one out of the air, and it turns out to be a 1-2-3 fifth inning for Gio Gonzalez. So Gonzalez has not allowed a hit since the first. Kyle Kendrick has allowed 1 hit. That was in the second. Phillies from the top of the lineup. No one smiles bigger than Ben, and no one is happier than his manager when the Phillies' speedy center fielder is making things happen. Revere batted over 300 in May, and it continues to rise during the month of June. On the base paths, Ben is beginning to make his mark and is among the National League leaders in snatching bases. He's leading your Phillies, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. changing the game. Well, the guy who's our game changer of the week got the first look at the Fanatic streaking in the outfield in between innings. Fanatic usually pulls this skid out every once in a while. Always got people laughing as he's running around the field without his uniform on.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you, Sarge, he's got to be tired.
Nobody better.
Umpires, police officers, players, just laughing right along with them.
You know, when you're a player, boy, you just don't want him coming around you. You just want him to keep on going. Oh, boy.
Top of the sixth, Kurt Suzuki leads it off. Kendrick delivers high with a changeup. Suzuki grounded to second his only time up. 12 in a row retired by Kendrick. 15 of 16 to start the game. Grounder to shortstop. Easy play for Jimmy Rollins. Another ground ball. That'll bring Gio Gonzalez to the plate. Well, we discussed this last night at the end of the game. The Nationals this year have played 31 games where they've scored 2 runs or less. They're 4-27 during that time. Phillies, we've been talking about the Phillies scoring 3 runs or less, but 2 runs or less.
Well, all you got to do, I guess, is look around and someone else is not doing as well.
Well, they've talked about it the last couple of days as Gio Gonzalez has just taken a Sunday stroll down the line, and Rollins throws him out. They've talked about it the last couple of days, the Nationals have, that maybe they're putting too much pressure on themselves. Who knows? But you know, we worry about the Phillies offense, but the Nationals, I hope they keep on scoring 2 runs or less. Murph, you were part of a conversation yesterday with Charlie Manuel and Davey Johnson. What were they discussing?
Well, you know, at least Davey Johnson's kind of keeping his sense of humor about it. He was asked what he and Charlie talked about by some reporters before the first game of this series, and he said, well, we were talking a little bit about our offenses, and, well, we cried on each other's shoulders. And then he was followed with a question, well, who cried more? And he said, well, I think I did at this point. So Davey Johnson keeping his sense of humor, kind of.
Denard Span takes a strike. Well, Davey Johnson on his radio show today in D.C. Talked about losing 2 games to the Phillies. He said, listen, they're a good team, but we shouldn't be losing 2 straight to them.
That's the way you feel when you're thinking about trying to win your division. There are just certain teams that you shouldn't lose. I mean, for instance, for us to go out to Milwaukee and to lose those games. You just feel you're a better ball club, and it just wasn't to be when they were playing Milwaukee.
Jason Worth was asked about it after before last night's ball game by Todd Zolecki from Phillies.com, and you know, he talked about how the Phillies core players he thinks will get it done, but then he caught himself and said, listen, we've got our own issues we've got to deal with. I can't worry about them.
Yeah. Going through their clubhouse, the one guy they missed, they end up trading him to Seattle, and that is Michael Morse. You can't measure what he brings into the clubhouse. Computer does not, does not compute that as far as in what that player means to that club, because you draw energy from a Michael Morse, and again, they miss him, and they miss him immensely.
Well, the Phillies had missed Kyle Kendrick in his last start against the Rockies, but this is the Kendrick that they had hoped for. Just 1 hit through 6. grab some buds. By the Quality Plus Ford stores, go further. And by Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. Bottom of the 6th, beautiful night, beautiful scenery. Phillies with a 2-run home run from Michael Young back in the 1st. That was their last hit as we go to the 6th. Not a full moon yet, Sarge.
No.
Kyle Kendrick leads it off. Kendrick takes a strike.
He still does have a decent fastball here in the bottom of the 6th.
We looked at the replay of his ground ball. It looked like he was grabbing his lower back as he was running up the first base line. So you wonder if that's going to be an issue for him at all.
I'll take a look at him as he swings. Now, he starts off slow. Now he's going to start to just jog. A little wince. Well, watch when he hits the bag. He goes like, oh, boy. Well, he's throwing 93, so.
Low it in, 3-2.
Good swing. I tell you, though, running down to that bag there, maybe Gonzalez realized Murph had the wrong shirt on for us tonight. Maybe kind of rinsed his back a little bit once he
doing a double take.
Double take on that. Oh, excuse me, Murph. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to bring you in like that. Holy cow!
Yeah, just go figure. Go figure.
Figure that he's only got 3 outs.
I don't know. I think we asked the viewers at home if I have the wrong shirt on, because it sure looks a lot like the one you guys have on.
It is very similar. Kyle Kendrick with the walk.
That's a good AD.
But we'll be wearing that shirt on the West Coast road trip. So Murphy, you're technically packed. You could just
I'll just wear it on out.
Wear it for the next couple of days. We do have fun when we mess up the shirts.
Oh, boy.
And it does happen to each of us as the season goes on.
Sarge, how many shirts did you bring to the ballpark tonight?
I brought several, if you must know.
I don't know if several is the right answer. I think 7 is the right answer.
Well, let's preface that. Had a lot of duties to do this morning. I was here early.
Revere bunts. Suzuki gives it a look, and it's out of play. On one hop, it's 0-1. But that's an excellent question on your part, Murph.
He's always covered.
Yeah.
Murph, that's the first time that you've had a blemish. Is that correct?
This year, yes.
This year. So, Sarge, you've had a...
I have not worn a wrong shirt on the air the whole year. The whole year.
But how many times have you come to the ballpark with the wrong shirt?
Well, let's not go there. You got to wear what you have. You got to be prepared. That's all I'm saying.
You are a Boy Scout.
I need to be more like Sarge.
Yeah.
Well,
another foul ball, and it's 0-2.
Sometimes for a guy that can bunt like a Ben Revere, more difficult when he's trying to sacrifice for whatever reason. When he's drag bunting, he seems to be able to do that left down the left field line or right. See if Charlie will go in and let him hit now. Kyle not having really a big lead over at first base. That would have to be a good bunt if you're going to get him over there. Might do just as well and spanking a single somewhere.
And laid on a high fastball, and Revere has struck out. 8 strikeouts for Gio Gonzalez. And Michael Young is coming to the plate. Don't forget the 2013 All-Star game, the 84th the history of Major League Baseball will take place July 16th at Citi Field. You can watch the game on Fox beginning at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Michael Young had a 2-run home run in the first. That's the last hit for the Phillies. But Kyle Kendrick has allowed only 1 hit to the Nationals.
Well, both pitchers. I mean, Kyle pitching very well. Gonzalez making 1 mistake. That's what you want to do. Capitalize on those good pitchers that.
In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I mean, you let them get their groove, and I mean, all the good pitchers, those number ones, I mean, they usually can put the game away.
Well, the guy on the left is coming off a rough outing against the Rockies. The guy on the right hasn't gotten a whole lot of run support, so this has been a well of a game.
Yeah, well, big game too, though, for Kyle. You're right. To just get back into form, start getting those ground balls. More importantly, winning the game or giving his team a chance to win. I like the way Michael's been seeing the ball and line drives.
Shoots that one over the head of Juan Samuel. So at a Major League scoreboard, the Braves took a 3-0 lead on a home run by Chris Johnson, but the Mets have tied it up in their half of the 5th. The Mets are still batting in the top of the 5th. Sean Markham on the mound for the Mets. And Chris Medlin, who has not had the same year 2013 that he had in 2012.
Boy, I tell you, and you just can't count on it. I mean, you can write it down. This guy should hit 20 home runs, 15 home runs, 25 pitchers, 15 wins, whatever. But you just can't count on it. You got to start that season, see how things are going.
Off-speed pitch, and Michael Young is the 9th strikeout victim of the night for Gio Gonzalez.
Yeah, talking with Cliff Lee a little bit today, I said, man, it sure would have been fun to have had you on the team. And he said, all I want to do is just throw strikes just like that and get the batter out. That's just a tough pitch.
You mean on your team?
Oh, yeah, back in the day. And he just kind of laughed and kind of smiled. It is a matter of fact of going out there and just doing your best to get those guys out. Heard Michael Young say that on yesterday on the post-game show. What a pleasure, it is to face a guy that goes out there. Those are the kind of guys that really make you play better. You gravitate to them because you know they mean business and working fast.
Rollins hits it to center field. Span on the run. He has room out there, and he makes the catch to the side. Is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. We've played 6 as we go to the 7th. The Phillies leading 2-0.
today when the fanatic streaker returned. I get tired of that act. Phillies and the Nationals. Boy, this is really a well-pitched game by both these guys. They are really dealing. Look at the line on Gio Gonzalez, tying his season high with 9 strikeouts. And Michael Young's 2-run home run is the difference in the ballgame coming back in the first inning. Kyle Kendrick, he's only given up 1 hit so far. 4 strikeouts for him, though walks on a lot of ground balls, which of course is a good sign for Kendrick when he's getting ground ball outs, and his defense has been excellent behind him.
If you think back to just these last 3 innings, Kendrick has 6 ground ball outs of the 9 outs recorded.
And they made some good plays in the infield for him tonight. Franson made one. Kevin at second base. Jimmy Rollins made a heck of a play last inning to get Worth.
And Kendrick himself.
This Phillies #1 pick, J.P. Crawford, said at the time, be an athlete. And he was.
18 outs recorded by Kendrick, 10 ground ball outs.
That's good for a sinker ball pitcher. Sinker ball changeup guy. That's what you want. And you look up, you're going to have a low pitch count, too.
Well, he starts the 7th with 64 pitches. Rendon's 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's flied out to center. And he takes a strike.
He had one of those balls that they made a good play in the infield on. That Kevin made in the first inning on a Franson to his left and Ryan Howard on the other end of the plate.
Well, that's been an important part of his game tonight. Throwing those first pitch strikes.
Kind of good comeback sinker to right-handed batters tonight, too. Left-handed hitters, too, but especially to right-handed batters. It's a pitch that'll really freeze him.
Well, it froze Ryan Zimmerman back in the first inning. Rendon hits it sharply to short. 11 ground outs now for Kendrick. One away here in the 7th. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Ryan Zimmerman is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out to Rollins. Jimmy's been busy tonight.
Infielders love games like this where they're really on their toes. Kyle Kendrick working fast. He's not in the stretch. Throwing a lot of ground balls. And the outfielders aren't getting a whole lot of work tonight.
It's kind of the pace that Cliff Lee had last night. And the 1-0 pitch to Zimmerman. Well, he tried that comeback two-seamer again. It missed off the outer edge.
He got him once with it, and that one Zimmerman was more aware of it, but wanted to strike.
Down and away, 3-2. These are awfully close pitches.
Yeah, it looked like he threw him a cutter that time, and it just broke off the plate, and he didn't chase it.
Guy spilled his beer all over himself in the back as that ball hit the screen.
A little startled.
Look, they're handing him a napkin behind home plate. We've all been there. If you sit behind home plate, watch him in the white shirt, about 4 rows up. Whoop.
What a dope! What a dope I am! I got a screen in front of me. Where am I going?
We have all done it.
Oh, absolutely. That's a natural reaction, is to flinch. And then when it's over, go, I just wasted half my beer. Nobody saw you. Don't worry about it. There's a couple of people around there. And that phone, if he has a cell, well, if he has ever, who doesn't have one? That'll start ringing pretty soon.
Again, the 3-2 pitch to Zimmerman. Down low, ball 4. Now that's the first base runner that Kendrick's allowed since the second. He had retired 16 straight. Well, it's been a busy day here at the ballpark. David Montgomery, the Phillies president, introduced the relaunch of the Fans Feeding Families program 2013. That is the amount of money that Phil Abundance received today, $40,000. Dan Fitzpatrick from Citizens Bank putting the Fans Feeding Families pin on the Fanatic. And those pins, there they are right there, the 2013 logo, are available if you want to go to Phillies.com/feedingfamilies. You can purchase your pin here at the ballpark or go to the Phillies website. Proceeds will help the program here in 2013. It's going to help fight hunger in the Delaware Valley. Roy Halladay and the Halladay Family Foundation. This is a program that they've embraced over the last couple of years, and along with Citizens Bank, the Phillies, and a lot of the folks around the Delaware Valley, they've done an amazing job helping out the great work that they do at Phil Abundance.
Roy, Brandy Halladay have really been involved in that since they came over. Roy, hopefully rehabbing okay down in Clearwater.
Yeah. Folks that are involved, Comcast, of course, Aramark, the food provider here at the ballpark, SEPTA, and there are many others. There's several ways for fans to support the program, include buying that pin. You can purchase a Party with a Purpose package, and you can also, on the 13th of July, the 8th of August, the 17th of August, you can bring some non-perishable foods to Citizens Bank Park or to the SEPTA's AT&T station. There's a soft ground ball in front of the mound. Kendrick barehands and throws out LaRoche. Up to second goes Zimmerman, and there are 2 outs. That's 12 ground outs now for Kendrick.
Interesting the way he just pitched. LaRoche threw him 3 straight changeups. One a swing and a miss, one he took that was close, and that one he nubbed off the end of the bat. LaRoche wants a fastball. He likes to get extended too and drive the ball that way. And throwing him 3 straight changeups really fooled him.
That's the thing. It seems like every pitch is working for him.
Well, yeah, and when you have a real good changeup and you can throw it to LaRoche, you have a lot better chance of controlling him. But we've seen him enough years, Tom. He can wail on fastballs.
I think it's also his pitches have been unpredictable tonight. They haven't been predictable, let's say, as they were at Coors Field the other day.
Well, you know, you can pitch with a lot more confidence when you pitch here than when you pitch at Coors Field. There's just something about it. The stuff doesn't move the same way. Pitchers pitch away from the bat. They give up runs there. I really thought he'd swing early like he did last night, like we're kidding around about playing possum, and then he went up there a second time up and wham, hit the first pitch like he'll do once in a while, but he took a strike right down the middle then when he's a tying run.
Worth is popped out and he's grounded out to Rollins at short. Jimmy made a fine play behind the bag. One ball, one strike. And a line drive base hit it to right field. Zimmerman's being waved home. Delman Young is up with it. His throw is cut off by Ryan Howard. An RBI single. Only the second hit of the night for the Nationals, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Well, Kyle gets hurt by the walk in this inning. His command has been so good tonight, and the little dribble out in front of the plate. Get the runner Zimmerman into scoring position. Good job by Jason Worth. That was a sinker, kind of ran in on him a little bit, and he just fought it off. And Young's not going to throw him out, but what he did properly was hit the cutoff man Ryan Howard and make sure Jason Worth did not advance into second base as a tying run. Throw it low.
Now Desmond, who has struck out and grounded out. Good time for Ruiz to go out and talk to him. He's nibbling a little bit here in the 7th.
He's been pitching to contact really well here tonight. Pitching away from the bat a little bit more in this inning.
Oh, he's retired the Nationals in order 4 times tonight. Every time the Phillies pitchers do that, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. 2-0 now the count to Desmond. And a quick throw over to first.
Phillies have done what we talked about early in the opening and early in the game against Gio Gonzalez, is try and score something off him, because he doesn't give you much and he doesn't give up many hits. Important to get out of this inning.
Gonzalez waiting to get back out for the bottom of the 7th. Nobody's warming up for the Nationals. Chad Tracy was walking around the dugout with a bat. High fastball, and it's 2-2.
Has tremendous pull power as they go away from him.
Swing and a miss. They got him. A strikeout for Kendrick, his 5th of the night. He threw a changeup to the right-handed hitter, and he got him swinging. Jason Worth pulled the Nationals to within 1 with an RBI single, but he's left over at first. This has been a heck of a bounce-back game for Kyle Kendrick off of the performance against the Rockies when he allowed 10 hits, 7 runs. Throat. Who holds the Expos Nationals franchise record for the most wins in a season?
Well, thanks to you, you ruled out Steve Rogers.
All right, well, I'll forget to do that next time.
And Expos Nationals means Walter Johnson can't be in there.
Excellent point.
So we've been kicking around the name all night. Well, you and I have of the starting pitcher who won 21 games last year. So let's go with him. Gio Gonzalez.
Gio Gonzalez delivers the 1-0 pitch to Ryan Howard. And it's 1-1. You are correct.
I thought that would be wrong. I thought maybe somebody else that couldn't come up with.
I couldn't come up with somebody else that pitched along with Steve Rogers. Bryn Smith, that would have been
Bryn Smith, good one. Carl Morton. Ross Grimsley won 20 games. I don't remember that. But Rogers was tremendous. I thought maybe Bill Gullickson might be in there too. Bill Gullickson had some tremendous years for Montreal.
Well, Scott Sanderson, didn't he pitch?
Scott Sanderson was very good. Yeah.
2-1 to Ryan Howard. A curveball. He went according to Alfonso Marquez. There are a lot of lefties that give Ryan Howard difficulty, but this kind of left-handed is really a problem.
He comes from the side a little bit with that big sweep and breaking ball, but his fastball is so hard. You can't sit on anything.
But he's got a few 3-ball 2-strike counts.
Right, and he will do that because that thing moves so much. It's late. It's a real late curveball. He pitches from the third base side. If he was coming from the first base side, he probably could never throw it for a strike because it'd be outside all the time as much as it breaks. That's probably why he pitches from the third base side of the rubber.
Curveball, and he's down looking. 3 times tonight Howard's been struck out. It's a 10 strikeout night for Gio Gonzalez. Dominic Brown is due up, and let's check in with Murph with the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, T-Mac, thank you very much. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. And the Padres have lost a big piece, placing Everett Cabrera on the DL with a hamstring strain. The speedy shortstop leads the team in runs and hits. And he leads all of Major League Baseball in stolen bases with 31. He injured that hamstring while trying to steal a base over the weekend. And guys, what about the day that the Orioles' Chris Davis has, and what about the season he is having?
Really?
How about 2 more home runs today, number 25 and number 26, 5 RBIs on the day as the Orioles just took it to the Detroit Tigers. And now, don't look now, guys, but the Orioles 11 games over 500 and just 2 games out in the AL East, playing some very good baseball down in Baltimore, guys.
Yeah, 2 games behind the Boston Red Sox, who are at 44-29. Going into their game tonight.
Red Sox won a split doubleheader against the Rays last night.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Well, Chris Davis has been remarkable. I mean, he really has. Turns out to be a heck of a trade for the Orioles. They got him from the Texas Rangers.
Saw him last year when we were down there, and he was swinging the bat really well. And they were really high on him.
Another strikeout, a foul tip. That's 11 strikeouts for Gonzalez.
The 8th time he's had 10 or more strikeouts in his career. He had 207 of them last year. Talked about that at the beginning of the game tonight, that he's not going to give you a lot of hits. He will have strikeouts, and you can just hope he can get a walk off, a couple walks, or in this case, boom, 2-run homer.
Delman Young swings at the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
Talking to some people around the Nationals last night. They said he's the Cliff Lee of last year. When you follow the way that they follow him, they say you can't believe the stuff that happens to him. How well he pitches, complete with the blown saves we mentioned. Pretty good comparison.
What was astonishing, the graphic we put up at the beginning of the game, that he, after 14 games last year, was 11-3. Cliff Lee 9-2 this year. Don't forget, he didn't get his first win until July 4th.
Right, that's why it was such a great comparison between the two. Phillies are getting the bullpen up. Mike Adams is starting to throw out there. Kendrick's done a really good job through 7. And Delman Young, this will be his last plate appearance, so they'll put Mayberry in the game in right field probably in the 8th inning, the way they've been doing lately.
1-2 to Young. Curveball, he golfs it out toward left field. On the run is Lombardozzi, and he'll make the catch. And the side is retired. Phillies go down in order, 6 in a row. Retired by Gio Gonzalez. His night may be done. Phillies lead it by 1. Local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Buy Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And buy Honda. Visit your Honda dealer today for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. Well, the Fanatic doing somewhat of a dance. Not really a dance. He was on top of the dugout with former members of the United States Naval Academy and West Point. Now, the Philadelphia Soul, as you see John Mayberry out in right field. Philadelphia Soul this Saturday will play here in Philadelphia after the Phillies take on the New York Mets. And then following their game, there will be a game between Army and Navy. As Lombardozzi grounds one to second. Nice play by Franzen. Backhands. One hop in time to get Lombardozzi. One out here in the 8th inning.
Laughs about it. That was a tough hop over there for Ryan Howard. Lombardozzi can run. He was really busting it down the line, too, out of that left batter's box. Here it is. Takes a couple extra steps, bounces it, and Ryan Howard puts 2 hands on it right here to make sure there's no bobble involved. Any bobble and he's safe. There's another good look at it. They've made some really good plays behind Kyle Kendrick tonight.
Well, now with one away, Kurt Suzuki is coming up.
Tom said they'll hit for Gonzalez, of course. And Phillies have Adams and Bastardo ready in the bullpen just in case they need a right-hander or a left-hander.
Suzuki's grounded out to second and to short. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Uses changeup really effectively. As you said, last inning throws to a right-handed batter the way he just did to Suzuki. One of the biggest pitches of the game when he struck out Desmond on a changeup.
I think he surprised Desmond.
Absolutely did. Threw him a lot of hard stuff in that at bat, including a fastball up.
In the dirt, 1-2. Not a bad 0-2 waste pitch. On the outside corner, Suzuki down looking. 6 strikeouts for Kendrick.
That looked like that comeback sinker that he's used effectively tonight, especially these right-handed batters. There it goes, comes shooting right back, and that one actually caught the middle of the plate as opposed to just on the outside corner.
Carlos Ruiz is walking out to talk to Kendrick. I don't think maybe this is a stall tactic for Bastardo. Bastardo only started throwing a few moments ago. Mike Adams has been throwing for a while. Charlie Manuel's wandering around the dugout. I think he's trying to figure out whether he's going to go for the left-hander or not.
Well, they just Rich Doobie just went with a cap to see if he's ready, and here he comes.
So Charlie's going to wait for Carlos to get back halfway and then head on out. And they'll do it about face. Kendrick has thrown 92 pitches. Hear a lot of the fans yelling, no, no.
Yeah, that's why this is a great game.
Charlie just said something to Kyle as he went out to the mound. And he's going to take the baseball from him. That'll be it for Kyle. He'll get a nice round of applause. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen. And rightfully so. The Phillies looking to sweep out the Nats. And Kendrick really stepped up big time. We'll be back with Antonio Bastardo's numbers right after this on an AT&T.
How about our Hyundai defensive play, let's say plays of the game? Here's a real good one early on. First inning. Kevin Francis had a nice game there at second base. Here's another good one right here. There's a bunt. Look at Kyle Kendrick come off the mound. Be an athlete, we heard. And he was. Tremendous play there by Kyle. Now here comes another one. Jason Worth up the middle. Jimmy Rollins in that spin. Got his feet under control. Fired over to Ryan Howard and got Jason Worth. Our Hyundai defensive plays of the game brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Well, an unpopular move by the sounds of the fans that Kyle Kendrick was lifted after 7 2/3, 2 hits and 1 run. Charlie Manuel saw that Chad Tracy was introduced as a pinch hitter. Tracy's got 2 pinch hit home runs in the last 5 games.
Right.
And instead of Kendrick facing the lefty Tracy, he wanted Bastardo to face the lefty, but now Davey Johnson counters with a move of Chris Marrero.
And they know that, and they figure, all right, we'll take that trade. 2 players in one move, and now we'll rather go Bastardo against this guy as opposed to Kendrick at this point in the game against Tracy. Then you make the move, you go back, you sit in the dugout, and you watch and say, I know I did the right thing, now let's see what happens.
Marrero's only gotten 8 at-bats since being brought back from the minor leagues, and he takes the first pitch on the outside corner. It's 0-1. What a job by Kendrick.
Tremendous job. Tremendous job. And Tracy would have been up there to do one thing, and that's hit a home run the way he was the other night. Guarding the line at third.
Fly ball, shallow right center field. John Mayberry just put in for defense, gives way to Ben Revere, and the side is retired. It took 2 pitches for Antonio Bastardo to get Kyle Kendrick and the rest of the Phils through the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Phillies lead it by 1. Available on your iPhone and iPad. Download for free today. Well, this game is only 2 hours old, and you can see by the skyline that it's still a little light out.
Longest days of the year, coming down to what, the 21st is the normally the longest day of the year, I believe.
That
right around
correct. That's Saturday, yes?
Yeah.
Friday, I'm sorry, Friday. Tyler Clippard will take over for the Nationals and Gio Gonzalez. Clippard, second game against the Phillies this week. His last game, he worked the bases loaded, but then got out of the jam. Nationals also have Rafael Soriano warming up in the bullpen. Time now for our Coors Light Freeze Can. The Phillies' #1 pick was introduced today to not only the members of the media, the fans, but also maybe his future teammates. Getting a chance to sit behind the backstop and watch BP with Charlie Manuel. Got a chance to meet John Mayberry and another California kid in Delman Young. There's his family right there. There's JP showing his #2. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Kid's not scared.
He's got a little confidence to him.
He's got some personality, that's for sure.
Kevin Franzen leads it off, and Franzen lines one to right field. Oh, he hit that ball right on the nose. He's 0 for 3.
Yeah, Jason Worth doing the right thing. He's a very good outfielder. Everybody knows that around here. He can go back on the ball, come up when a guy's offside like that, play more shallow, take hits away.
How about his quote yesterday when he was talking about playing right field? He said, when I went out to shag flies in right yesterday, it was like going home to your parents' house after you had been away from school, away to school for a while.
Yeah, well, it should be pretty familiar out there.
Pretty comfortable. Carlos is 0 for 2.
Go back to what they did in the 8th inning. And Carlos takes that pitch low. You know, as you said, fans are going to boo. It's unpopular. Kyle Hendricks pitching a great game. But, you know, left-handed hitters have hurt him over the years. You're getting to the point where he's close to 100 pitches. You have a guy coming up batting left-handed who's going to try and hit a home run the way he did the other night. And you figure, all right, I'll go left to him, make it tougher for him. And if they go to one of those right-handed hitters, that's fine. And it worked out fine. The pitcher did his job.
Now, as you look to the 9th, Papelbon is warming.
And that's why when you're a major league manager, you have to make decisions like that in the game. You know it's the right thing. Then you hope your player proves you're right. And if he doesn't, the wrath comes down upon you.
There's Papelbon.
The whole idea was to get to Jonathan Papelbon in the 9th inning. They needed one more out to do it.
Well, trust is a big thing, and I know Antonio Bastardo has really struggled at times this year.
Yep.
For the fans, there is at times a lack of trust.
Hey, there's angst in that dugout when they do that stuff too. But he's been a little bit better lately, especially against some left-handed hitters. He's made them look bad.
To his credit, yep, he has been.
And that also gives him the confidence to make that move.
3-1 to Ruiz. Carlos hits a towering fly ball toward the line. Lombardozzi puts it away. Wow is right, Murph. That was way up there.
That took a while to come down, Tom.
Sure did. What do you got going on, Murph?
Hey, I'll tell you what, speaking of wow, Chase Utley back on the field. That's certainly going to be a good thing for Phil's fans coming up in the near future. Back on the field in Reading tonight, doing his first rehab assignment since that oblique strain. 0 for 3 tonight. He had 2 flyouts and a fielder's choice ground out as Reading is trailing Portland 8-4. Now the Phils do expect that he'll be able to play again tomorrow, I know, avoiding any setback, and then maybe Friday or Saturday back in Philadelphia. Still has yet to be determined. Could be after that, depending on how he feels, but that's what they're hoping right now, guys.
He was wearing number 23 tonight, I read. That was the number he was given by the Reading Fightin' Phils.
Those kids will get a nice spread tonight after the game, too. And those big-time players going to, especially a guy like Chase Utley who knows what the right things are to do. They buy the post-game spread, and it's normally a little better than they get. They love seeing those major leaguers come down.
Lance Nix pinch hitting for Bastardo. Out in front of a changeup, 1-1. By the way, Murph, I don't know if you know this or not, but the hang time on that wow fly ball. 6 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I just was standing here waiting for it to land in the glove. It took a while.
You could have done your Chase Utley update
I certainly
while
could
it was
have.
up in the air.
I could have changed my shirt.
Sarge would have somehow gotten you the right one. That is a high strike.
Sarge cannot wait to bury somebody else about a shirt, can it? Been there.
He had a twinkle in his eye when he realized that Murph was wearing the wrong color blue.
We got to catch him one of these days when he has the wrong shirt and hide his car keys.
Exactly right.
And let him get somebody to go back to his house and get it.
Swing and a miss. Nix is struck out. Phillies are retired in order here in the 8th inning. Well, the 2-run home run that Michael Young hit in the 1st inning, that's all the Phillies have got tonight. That's all they've needed so far. Harris goes one-on-one with Phillies top draft pick J.P. Crawford. Chevy Malibu Sports Night tonight after post-game live. Well, the Phillies are hoping they'll have a chance to talk about another victory over the Nationals on Sports Night. Freddie Galvis takes over at second base for Kevin Franzen. Franzen did not have a hit tonight, hit the ball hard in 2 at-bats, but he played very good defense. And Jonathan Papelbon will take over on the hill. Papelbon tried to pick up his 15th save. And he'll face the top of the order, Denard Span, Anthony Rendon, and Ryan Zimmerman, as the Phillies are trying to win their 3rd straight game over the Nationals to start this homestand and pull within a game of 500 and take over sole possession of 2nd place in the National League East.
These guys are going home to play the Rockies in a 4-game series tomorrow night, and Roy Oswalt, for the 2nd time in his career, will start his career with a new team in their ballpark, as he did with the Phillies. He'll be pitching for the Rockies tomorrow night.
Oswalt pitched very well for AAA for the Rockies, and it seems like he's into it again. Denard Span leads it off. He's 0 for 3. He's flied out. He's grounded out. He's also struck out looking. Shows bunt, takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Outside, it's 2-0. Papelbon blew his first save of the season in Game 1, but then picked up his 14th save of the year in Game 2.
Good job by Span. Just stand there. Make him throw 1 strike, maybe 2. Guy with speed too if they get him on.
Joe's just throwing the throw.
Just getting his work in.
Ground ball right side off the glove of Howard. Papelbon is there. The throw is low and he can't hang on.
Well, they had Howard over on the line with a left-handed hitter, so he's not able to get to it. And that was almost an amazing play by Galvis with Papelbon trying to get under control and cover. See where Howard is guarding the line. So that's a routine ground ball early in the game. Deflects it. Galvis trying to lead Papelbon, throws it low.
Hit him. It looked like it hit his foot.
It did. It almost looked like it hit the bag. Yeah, or hit his foot, as you say. Yeah, because it bounces.
I think it hit his foot.
Yeah, his foot and then his calf. If he catches it, he's out. Got to give him a hit, though, don't you?
They just said base hit.
That's that thing about that late inning defense, whether you sit on the line or not, and they did, and that time they get a single out. Sometimes you don't guard the line against a fast guy who can steal second because you think it's a double anyway. But in that case, they were guarding the line.
So the hold Span on at first. Span has stolen 7 bases. Rendon is the hitter. He's 0 for 3.
Normally don't bunt for a tie on the road. See what these guys decide to do, because they have their thunder coming up.
Span takes strike 1. It's 0-1.
By that I mean Zimmerman, LaRoche, and Worth.
Fly ball right field. John Mayberry's there. And there's one away.
Span's had a sore foot, so you wonder if he's thinking about running or not. Now here come the big boys. And they certainly don't want to get him thrown out with one of these guys coming in, and yet they'd love to have him in the scoring position.
Zimmerman with only 3 at-bats, as you just saw, against Papelbon.
Zimmerman ground into a big double play here one afternoon to set off a party. Wouldn't be that tonight, but it'd be a nice way to end the game.
A cool afternoon here at Citizens Bank Park.
That was fun.
Phillies clinched the division on their way to the World Championship. Span goes and then stops. A swing and a miss. Papelbon.
Well, he probably heard all kinds of people yell he's going. Jimmy Rollins broke and he's covering second. Papelbon figures they're going to throw. They watch him break and then stop. He just, whatever reason, he didn't think he had a good enough jump.
He didn't.
And if he'd have gone, he's out. But Papelbon, that's what they'll yell down there. He's going. And, you know, that'll get the pitcher's attention, too.
1-2 to count to Zimmerman. And the pitch.
Oh, yeah. Good pitch he made to him there that he fouled off. See, he's trying to stay away from him, which is good. Zimmerman's one of those guys that can hit it out the other way. He's not necessarily like Tracy was the other night, a guy that just fired his hip out to hit a home run and pull it. Zimmerman's a good hitter.
Span leads off first, a toss over. I think he surprised him. I think Span was surprised and Papelbon threw over.
Yeah. Almost didn't lift a foot, too. Almost was no daylight on that. Good quick tag there by Ryan Howard back in time.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 2 outs here in the ninth.
Stayed away from him. At it bat. He was really going to try. It looked like he was going to try and make Zimmerman beat him away with something hard, and he didn't. He beat him. Another really good fastball by Jonathan Papelbon. Came back a little bit, was still away, so Carlos was set up. Now here's a guy that you know is going to. We just talked about it when he was up last time, and Kyle threw him 3 straight changeups and got him out. See what Papelbon decides to do, because he'll be looking and hunting for a first ball fastball here to hurt you.
LaRoche is 1 for 3 tonight. Takes inside. Just a little bit inside. 1-0.
Yeah, well, they've been trying to crowd him all night because he does like to get extended. He really likes to hit the ball out over the plate a little bit. And Kyle was trying to get in on him a couple at bats too.
Kyle Kendrick started, went 7 2/3. Bastardo got the final out in the 8th, and now it's Papelbon who's trying to get the last out here in the 9th inning. 1 ball, no strikes to LaRoche. Inside again, 2-0.
Yeah, they're committed to crowding.
Oh, fouls it back. It's 2-1.
You see, that was out over the plate a little bit, and look at the swing you got at it.
You don't think they're engaged in what's going on? They're looking for as good a view as possible.
Yeah, they know they're not in this game tonight unless something goes wrong in this inning.
It's pretty cool seeing them all sitting there on the fence watching.
Yeah, well, you know, they're all in it together out there. Where they're going to go now. 2 fastballs in, the fastball away that was in the middle of the plate a little bit. What Carlos wants to do here.
A little different approach than what we've seen from Papelbon recently, where he's thrown some splits and some sliders. They're going to go fastball away, it looks like.
Yeah.
2-1 the count to LaRoche. Outside, 3-1.
Boy, that was close. 1 high and 1 low.
Worth is on deck. He's driven in the only run for the Nationals. They have 3 hits. The Phillies have 2.
I'll have to challenge LaRoche here now. He hasn't thrown him anything but heat so far.
There goes Span. And the pitch is in the dirt. It gets away from Ruiz. It's ball 4. So first and second with 2 outs.
Well, he did throw him a split. Nick. He just wasn't going to throw him a fastball there behind in the count. Going to take his chances now on Worth with a fresh count.
Carlos doing all the talking. Papelbon doing the listening. And Jason Worth, who was 1 for 3. See, he's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts against Papelbon. They may have gone through a couple different sequences with Ruiz going out to talk to Papelbon. They did that before Ruiz went on the disabled list earlier this year. Runners lead off first and second. And a ground ball through the hole on the left side. Spans around third, heading for home. And the Nationals are going to tie this ball game up. They've got the Roach going to third. He's safe at third. And Jason Worth has 2 RBIs in this ball game. And Jonathan Papelbon has blown his second save in this series.
Yeah, Worth will do that. He'll come up there and swing at a first pitch once in a while. He did it last night. He rarely will do it, but in this case, he came up and looked for a fastball to hit, and he got it right down the middle, about belt high where he likes it, and found the hole. So now you got to get him out here and come in and win the game the way they did the other night. The reason LaRoche is going to third right there is he's going to make sure they cut that throw off. And even if he's out at third, that's one of the times you do that and give yourself up. In that case, they cut it off but didn't get him.
Well, now with 2 outs, here's Desmond. He's 0 for 3. Rafael Soriano's warming up in the bullpen for the Nationals. Desmond is swinging a miss. It's 0-1. Phillies will have the top of the order up in their half of the ninth. There's Soriano, the closer. Now it's 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got Desmond. Desmond strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. However, Jason Worth, against his old team, ties the ball game up here in the top of the 9th inning. His 2nd RBI of the evening. And now the Phillies with a chance to win it as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Time in this series that they're tied going into the home 9th. For years, StubHub has been the place to find great Phillies tickets, and this season you can get more with your tickets thanks to StubHub Fan Rewards. So get to StubHub and grab your seats today. Jason Worth, he's been booed as you would expect throughout this series, and he's come through, honestly, more than we've seen against the Phillies since he's been with the Nationals.
Well, he did a good job, I think, with as you see Papelbon looking on there. if you're Papelbon and Ruiz there, you may be thinking, hey, we can get a first strike on him. We'll throw a first ball fastball, we'll get ahead, and then we'll go from there. And Worth just did what he will do every once in a while. He will go and swing at a first ball fastball.
Well, the Washington Nationals and the Phillies have played 3 rather entertaining games. The Phillies have won the first 2. Now they have a chance to win the third. Nats are back pretty soon. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th of July. Thursday, the 11th, is the Xfinity Fireworks Show postgame. What are your tickets for that 4-game series at Phillies.com?
They'll go with Clipper for the second inning and work for him. They didn't want to use Soriano in a tie game on the road, saving him for a save.
Then Revere leads it off, and Revere takes strike 1. It was Revere who scored the game winner in game 1. He led off the 9th with a single against Fernando Abad. The lefty Ian Kroll is throwing in the pen for the Nationals. Ground ball softly hit. Desmond charges, has it, bobbles for a moment, but then flicks it to first.
Boy, he got on that in a hurry. That was a really good play.
Phillies have not had a hit since Michael Young's home run in the bottom of the first inning.
First 2 hitters in the game.
They've had 2 other base runners on walks. That's it.
Gio Gonzalez was just tremendous tonight after that first inning, and the way he can be. He has nasty putting away stuff. Kyle Kendrick did a tremendous job. They both pitched to no decisions.
So Young is 1 for 3. Zimmerman, the third baseman, over toward the line. LaRoche, the first baseman, off the line. Should be an easy play for Zimmerman in foul territory if it stays in play, and it will.
A valuable pitcher's Clippard for that quality guy like this can go out and pitch 2 innings.
He's only thrown 13 pitches in the inning and 2/3 so far.
Phillies, who do they have out there? Mike Adams. If we go to extra innings, he'll pitch a 10th. There's that left-hander.
Yep, Kroll is upstairs, Adams downstairs.
He just backed up change-ups. Both of them down and away, or up and away, actually.
Three and 1. Rollins. Howard's on deck.
And that left-hander's up for him. Although Clippard's so good against left-handed hitters with that changeup. Thrown him 3 in this at bat.
Ball 4. Rollins draws a walk. The winning run is aboard. Ryan Howard is coming up. Let's see what Davey Johnson does. Well, he just said something to Steve McCaddy to go check and see if Kroll was ready. Steve is pitching coach. Jim Lett is number 9. He's the bullpen coach. And there comes Davey Johnson. The Nationals bullpen has not been exactly what Johnson has wanted it to be this year. Clippard's probably been the most consistent guy, along with Soriano as closer. They've revamped it from the left side after losing Sean Burnett to free agency and Borzolani and guys like that. So they're going to go to Kroll, the left-hander, to face Ryan Howard. This is a pitching change for the Nationals in the bottom of the ninth. Tied at 2. performance against the Nats only on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post-Game Live. Just like in Game 1, Phillies are hoping that Ricky Bowe could talk about a victory over the Nationals in their final at bat. Tyler Clippard, a right-hander, gives way to the left-hander Ian Kroll. There are 2 outs here in the home ninth. Kroll has pitched in just 6 games, has yet to allow a run. And he's on because Ryan Howard and Dominic Brown are due up for the Phillies. Howard is 0 for 3. He struck out 3 times against Gio Gonzalez, who went 7 innings and struck out 11 overall. Howard takes inside. They got a fastball and he fouls it away. It's 1-1.
Yeah, they of course time to go play their out. They have the overshift on, which you would expect. They're going to play their outfielders as deep as possible to try and prevent an extra base hit, so the Phillies could win the game if Jimmy Rollins could score there. They want to make 2 hits, people.
Outside. Nationals got Kroll in the deal that sent Mike Morse eventually to Seattle.
And the 92-96 fastball, curveball, changeup.
Made his major league debut a little more than a week ago. Inside, 3-1.
This is the same thing you just faced, that Papelbon just faced with LaRoche. He decided to throw him a 3-1 splitter and go after Worth. Worth got a hit to tie the game. See if they challenge Howard here or go off speed and see if he'll chase or they can get it over.
There's Papelbon hoping his teammates can pick him up again for a second time. That ball gets away and goes to the screen. It's ball 4. So Rollins moves up to second, and that's as far as he gets. So back-to-back walks by the Nationals. And here comes Dominic Brown, who was the hero Monday night.
Okay, here you go with this pitch from a body. Hits his flubber ball up the middle. It's going all different directions. Phillies win the ball game. Have another shot at it here.
Papelbon was the first to get to him.
Jimmy just took a look around, see who the outfielders are. They have a right-hander up in the bullpen for Mayberry if Dominic Brown were to get on base and the game not end.
Drew Stewart is up and throwing. His wheel set, a right-hander up. Rollins leads off second, Howard off first. And a line drive foul. Whoa.
What a catch.
That was a great catch by that gentleman in the red shirt.
Wow. That was hit really hard. Look at Dominic Brown. He went up there to get a fastball and win the game, or at least hit it hard. He hit it hard.
Inside, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, they went to breaking ball after that first swing.
Prior to a week ago, Kroll had never pitched above Double-A. Fights it off, a looper out to shortstop, and Desmond makes the catch.
Tried it again.
Did try it again. They didn't get that flubber ball into center field. Instead, we're going to the 10th inning. We got a little free baseball here at Citizens Bank Park. The Nationals and the Phillies tied up at 2.
Phillies have 2 hits in the game. A leadoff hit by Revere, and then Michael Young with a home run to left field. Phillies off to a quick 2-0 start on Gio Gonzalez, and they have been shut down ever since. Then in the 7th inning, Jason Worth, who's been a big hitter in the lineup for these guys tonight, he gets one back. Ryan Zimmerman scores, and then with 2 outs in the 9th inning, Jonathan Papelbon needing 1 out. So the first ball fastball was supposed to be away. See it run right back over the middle of the plate. Worth found the hole left. Denard Span scores. Jason Worth happy about it as he's knocked in both runs tonight, and the Phillies will go to their 2nd home extra inning game of the year.
And they'll turn to Mike Adams out of the pen in relief of Jonathan Papelbon. Adams 23 strikeouts his last 24 or his first 24 innings of work this year. And he'll face Steve Lombardozzi, Kurt Suzuki to start the inning as Papelbon wanders through the dugout. Jonathan Papelbon's been so good this year.
Well, he got the infield hit to start it because they were guarding the line. That's an out. That's an out. It was just an easy ground ball. That's what you do. You take a chance on that. And that time it didn't work. They're doing the same thing now to start the inning with the first baseman Howard and a left-handed hitter.
Lombardozzi's 0 for 3. He has flied out and he has grounded to second twice. Chopper back toward the middle. Rollins ranges that way, has it, flips on the run. Oh, we're talking about Desmond having that little flip, but Rollins, and that's a great play.
And how about the little short hop he had at the end too? Kind of run right up your arm. You know what he wants right here is a nice high hopper. He's not good. The high hopper's there. Now look what kind of hop he gets. Little short hop right there at the end. Great hands, and then on the run with the flip. But to catch that hop, that was a whole play.
Gobernus is out on deck for the Nationals to pinch hit for the pitcher as Storin is warming up in the pen for Washington. For Gobernus, though, Suzuki.
That's why they like their bullpen. They have a former closer now to bring into extra innings. In fact, they had 2, one to set up to get them there in Clippard, and now this guy with Soriano in reserve for a save.
Line drive off the glove of Michael Young, trickling down the left field line. Suzuki's going to try for second, and he's going to get there. A game of inches, and that one just barely nicked off the glove of Michael Young.
And that's why they had him guarding the line to try and prevent an extra base hit. You see where Michael is, and it's hit right at him, but off the top of the glove, and then just enough to slow it down so it turns into a double.
Now Cobernus will pinch hit. He pinch hit last night and he flied out to center. He started game 1 in center field.
They would get Soriano up now too to join Storin out there.
Yeah, he's slowly walking to the mound. He bunts, foul.
Yeah, and they don't want him bunting there. Here he is hitting the home run off Cliff Lee, and the first pitch he saw, his first major league home run. The reason is, if he bunts there and he makes an out, the runner's at third with 2 outs. Right now he has a runner in scoring position with 1 out. That's a teaching moment for later.
Off the glove of Ruiz. Suzuki's going to third. The throw to third, not in time.
That's one of those ones you just, that really hurts. Sounds like he got a lot of leather on this too. Yeah, he just doesn't catch it. It's going to be a wild pitch, but it's a ball that Carlos knows that he needs to contain.
Now Carlos out to the mound to talk to Mike Adams.
Phillies are playing the infield in. Span, the on deck hitter, you would think they'd go on contact here, even with a catcher at third, because you're on the road. You're trying to make something happen and not try to win the game with 2 outs.
Update from down in Atlanta on the Toyota Major League scoreboard. They've gone to the bottom of the 8th. The Braves still leading the Mets 5-3. B.J. Upton has an RBI, a run scored, and a double. Chopper back towards second, scooped up by Galvis, takes a peek with Suzuki, and they throw to first as Adams sprawls to the ground.
Yeah, and they did not take a chance and go on contact there, and if they had, he'd have been out. So they're going to leave it up to Span with 2 outs. Now here comes Charlie out, and one of the things they're probably going to talk is about watch for Span to bunt the ball right here. There it is. Thankfully Adams doesn't touch it, because if he had touched that, only bad things could have happened. Probably it would have been deflected somewhere. So in that case, it's good the pitcher couldn't get to it.
Charlie's doing all the talking. Everybody nodded. And he heads back to the dugout.
You also have more of an inexperienced player on deck at Rendon than Span, who could dunk one. You never know what he could do, but they really have to be careful he doesn't bunt.
Span reached on the infield single to start the 9th inning and then scored the tying run on the base hit by Jason Worth. Cutter, he nearly offered at it. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Had some late break on it. Span started to turn a little bit and then held back. And it's 2-2.
Now they can back up a little bit on the corners.
Soriano nearest, Storin farthest. It's 2-2 here at the top of the 10th. Suzuki doubled, went to third on a wild pitch. A little cat and mouse going on. One doesn't want to wait for the other. The 2-2 pitch. Popped him up. Foul territory. Young on the run. Can he get there? He does. And the side is retired. And we go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Still tied at 2. The Phillies will send John Mayberry up. Phillies have not had a base hit since the home run by Michael Young back in the first. Revere singled, Young homered. And since that time, the only base runners have been the 4 walks issued by Nationals pitching. Now as we go to the bottom of the 10th, Drew Storen, former closer for the Nats, now kind of floating in no man's land in their bullpen.
And 34 hits, Tom, at 28 innings. And the other thing is pretty significant, those 4 home run balls allowed. Anytime you're in the game late and a pitcher is prone to a home run, that's never a good thing.
The other part of it, and this is one of the reasons why he has struggled, is that when they do get base runners, he has a very difficult time holding those runners on.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why Davey Johnson at times has shied away from using him in these kind of situations.
Yeah, only 3 base runners have run on him this year, but 3 are successful.
Mayberry, Galvis, and Ruiz are due up here at the bottom of the 10th inning. John Mayberry certainly knows this kind of situation. This was a whopper. A grand slam on the 4th of June.
And that was the other extra inning game that the Phillies have had here this year. Won that game 7-3 in 11 innings. That's their longest extra inning game of the year. They've had 3 10-inning games on the road.
So here we go, bottom of the 10th inning. Phillies looking to sweep out the Nats.
And they were 1 out away from it in the 9th inning.
First pitch is low. It's 1-0.
Started Mayberry with a breaking ball. I figure they're going to have that defense in the outfield way back, and they do have Zimmerman on the line at third.
Mayberry grounded out to Storen in last night's ball game after Ryan Howard had tripled. Fouls it back, 1-1. Galvis on deck. He also knows what it's like to win a ball game this year.
Phillies will get Michael Stutz ready in the bullpen if this game goes to the 11th. He pitched 2 effective innings here the other night.
tough pitch to take. 2-1. He took it for ball 3, though. It's 3-1.
May as well, because you're not going to hit it. Now maybe he's in a fastball count. Thorne's thrown him 3 sliders so far in this at bat. 1 fastball he fouled back. Throws you another hook like that, you may as well just take it. Those are lockers.
3-1 to Mayberry as we start the 10th. The pitch from Story.
Boy, fastball middle in.
Davey Johnson, the oldest manager of the National League East. Swing and a miss. He got him. And Mayberry struck out. Threw him a changeup. And now Freddie Galvis is coming up.
Heck of a pitch, 3-2.
First at bat for Galvis, who was brought in as a defensive replacement for Kevin Franzen. Had a heck of a night defensively. But Galvis up with a .209 average, 4 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Try to get on base. Takes a breaking ball outside.
Well, who could forget this on May 19th off a Roldis Chapman down the line. It's still gone. What a finish that was. Amazing. Back-to-back homers of Chapman, Eric Kratz, and then Freddie.
Freddie pulling off a little bit, and it's 1-2.
Well, he threw a fastball, and that looked like changeup because he's way out in front of it. Same pitch he struck Mayberry out on. He's using all 3 of his pitches. Above average fastball, breaking ball, changeup.
Now the 1-2 coming to Galvis. And a breaking ball outside, 2-2. Swing and a miss. It gets away from Suzuki. Galvis hustles up the line. The throw is in time.
He threw it into the runner too. LaRoche came over, gave him a perfect target to throw it on the outside part of the bag, and it came inside. And LaRoche with those quick hands just reached up and picked it out of the air. This is really a good play by the first baseman. Now Suzuki goes and gets it. Now watch where LaRoche is. He wants it out there. Now look where it goes. Right inside. Look at he gives his catcher a little look there.
Carlos is hitless in 3 at-bats. He does have a couple of hits against Storen. In the dirt, 1-0. Well, whatever they don't like about Storen, he has struck out the first 2 batters.
Yeah, well, maybe they don't like him closing, because that takes a different person to do those kind of things. This guy still has great stuff, although his stats are not that good.
Maybe Johnson did say that when asked about Storen closing, because he did have 40+ saves a couple of years ago. He said, well, that was 40+ saves for a not very good team.
All of a sudden you're a team in contention, and it's very different then.
1 pitch coming to Ruiz. Carlos hits it back toward the middle, a base hit. Now let's see what Charlie Manuel does. He had Michael Martinez out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit.
Well, that hit was so big in a lot of ways because Martinez will bat. If Ruiz had made the last out, then he had the 9-hole coming up with Stutz coming in, who they may want for a couple innings. They may have been forced into a double switch, take Galvis out, put Martinez in the game, and now that you get the 2-out hit, all that's moved.
Oh, it's Martinez or Quintero available for the Phillies.
Plus, you still have a chance to win the game, obviously.
Michael is 0 for 3. He was sizzling hot during the 2 weeks that he went back to AAA. His success in AAA is not translated to the big leagues. Although the success he had the last couple weeks in AAA has been the most he's enjoyed.
They can still play their outfield all the way back. Just trying to stay away from an extra base hit.
One ball, one strike. Maybe this is the part they don't enjoy. 17 pitches, 8 balls, 9 strikes.
Yeah. Gives up that base hit up the middle. And now it's a little more of a struggle. No base stealer at first, though, after what you mentioned earlier.
Out toward left field. And it's an easy play for Lombardozzi. Phillies do get a 2-out single, but Carlos Ruiz is left over at first. That means that we'll go to the 11th here in South Philadelphia. It's the Nationals 2 and the Phillies 2. Inning. The Nationals 2, the Phillies 2. Michael Stutz will take over. Stutz, his 12th ball game. He's 2-0, an ERA of 1.32. Here at the ballpark, they're doing the karaoke cam out of the big Fanavision to the song "Don't Stop Believin'," and that is no doubt in honor of the memory of the great James Gandolfini, who passed away tonight. Of The Sopranos. This was the song that you heard at the end of The Sopranos, the finale.
Shocking.
Charlie Manuel and Mick Billmeyer probably going over the options, which they don't have many. They only have Quintero available to bat. But they got the top of the order due up.
That's what we were saying. They were probably going to have to double switch if Ruiz had made the out in that inning. As it was, they got Martinez up there, made the last out, and he turned the lineup over and put Stutz in the 9-hole.
Rendon will lead it off against Stutz. First pitch is hit in the air to right field. Playable for John Mayberry.
Stutz showed he could go 2 innings the other night, so that was a thing they may be thinking. They'll try and get 2 out.
Michael and I walked out of the stadium together after that game, and he said that having a couple of days off helped. He said his slider being down in the strike zone helped that night, and he just felt like his fastball was jumping. His slot was good. He felt comfortable, and I don't know. It was good to see. I mean, he had a lot of life on his pitches.
Yeah, and that's what they need out of him tonight, because now he's going to get into these guys: Zimmerman, LaRoche, Worth.
Zimmerman takes a strike. It's 0-1.
That's a breaking ball you were talking about there, and it had some bite.
Check, they appeal, no swing. Michael Young over toward the line at third.
Three straight. One for a call, one take, and then he chases that one thinking he's going to get fastball.
Zimmerman has scored a run tonight after a walk in the 7th. He has struck out twice, grounded to short. And Stutz is ahead 1-2.
Just outside. And that was a great pitch after all those sliders. That is unlike the pitch that Kendrick threw tonight, where it's a comeback type sinker. And that pitch is just straight, and it's away, and it's off the plate.
Well, he tried the slider again. Zimmerman wasn't biting. It's 3-2.
And the whole thing is, if you throw a 2-2, you got to be able to throw a 3-2. And not give in with a fastball. Here, we'll see.
LaRoche on deck. And a line drive toward the alley in left center field. It's a base hit going to the wall. Dominic Brown will get to it, but Zimmerman's going to pull him to second with a 1-out double.
Hanging slider. And you prevent against extra base hit the best way you can. There's nothing you can do about that one. They could walk LaRoche now and go after Worth with a right-hander if they want, but Jason's been clutch tonight and driven in a couple runs.
Yeah, LaRoche is 1 for 3 with a walk, but Worth is 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. So 6 hits now for the Nationals. Philly's still with 3.
Yeah, they're going to walk him. That was too close to the plate.
I think the last guy to take a swing at one of those was Miguel Cabrera. I don't remember if anybody else has, but I do remember Cabrera doing it.
That's better.
They do look deceptively close to the plate.
Yeah, the first one was. First one was real close.
Look how far Carlos jumped out.
Oh, yeah. You saw that first one. That was, I don't want to get in that area again, but Roach might hit it. Here's Jason Worth's night. 2 big hits. 7th inning, 2-0 game, base hit to right field, ties or gets them a run with Brian Zimmerman scores, and then the big one with 2 outs in the 9th inning. First pitch, Jonathan Papelbon throws fastball. He tried to get it away from it, ran back over the middle of the plate. He found a hole. Span scored, and that's why we are in the 11th inning right now.
Runners on first and second for Worth.
Now, this is one of those things. Will he swing first pitch or not? We spot him a fastball.
Inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Worth, since he came off the disabled list, has picked up 15 hits.
Well, he's one of their big guys, and he's been big for them tonight. 2 clutch hits. He'll walk too. That's the other thing about him. You don't want LaRoche to beat you. You want to go right, but Worth will stand there and take pitches if they're close. That was close.
He's had a couple of close pitches in this at bat to Worth. Worth's taking a strike?
Yeah. We never know with him. Whoop. That was a little delayed. He thought it was low, and he may have had a point. He's tall, so that's close. His knees are way up in the air with him.
Alfonso Marquez behind the plate. Stutz turns back towards second just to keep Zimmerman close.
And Zimmerman stole a base this year. Stole third with 1 out in a game and helped them win the ball game. So you have to pay attention to him.
Outside, ball 4. Now the bases are loaded. A double and 2 walks. Here comes Rich Doobie out to talk to Michael Stutz. With Ian Desmond coming up. 11 balls, 5 strikes. He's not as sharp as he was the other night. Obviously, he does have the intentional walk mixed in here.
Desmond's grounded into 5 double plays. They'd like to make it 6.
Well, Rich Doobie has known Ian Desmond since he was a youngster from the Sarasota area. Ian played against Rich's son. He has excellent numbers with the bases loaded, as you can see there.
It's pretty clutch. It's in hitters' favor when they come up with the bases loaded. What they're going to do with the infield halfway.
So it'll be up to the infielders to decide whether they're going to come home or not.
Correct, depending on how hard the ball's hit.
It's 2-2 here in the top of the 11th. Bases are loaded for the Nationals. Desmond fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1.
That's why he's good with the bases loaded. Look at that hack he took there to try and do some damage.
Got Zimmerman at third, LaRoche at second, Worth at first. And it's 0-1 to Ian Desmond.
Check that one.
Yes, he went. So Scott Barry, it's 0-2.
Good breaking ball. After that first swing of a fastball, they decided to go breaking ball, and he can't stop.
Saw him nodding gently as he was stepping back in the box.
He went after that.
Now the 0-2 pitch coming to Desmond. Out of play.
Well, he missed the spot really bad that time. Carlos set up for a fastball away. They didn't even care if it was a strike. He wanted to be a chase fastball, and he threw it down the middle. Look where Ruiz is, and watch where this winds up. Oh, baby.
We'll do it again with the count 0-2 to Desmond.
Went it up high intentionally, not up by his noggin necessarily, but high fastball. That's a good time to come back with hard slider now.
He's given up the inside corner. It seems, at least in this inning, he just seems like he's given up the inside corner.
I don't know if that was a corner.
Let's go. That's a strike.
The only thing he could possibly call that is high. It's got all of home plate.
Alfonso with his mask off, barking back at the dugout.
Oh, that's just a huge pitch. That's the guy we were talking about on Sunday with the Larry Boa story. Yeah, see, that's the only thing he could call it is high because it has the whole plate. And they don't call those pitches strikes, and he hasn't called the whole game a strike.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Slider hit in the air. Deep left center field. Going back is Brown, and that is a grand slam. And the Nationals take a 6-2 lead. And that is disappointing.
Yeah, that was a hanging slide ball. Took a long ride. That's big for them. You know, they're fighting like that with 2 outs not to get swept in the 9th inning, and now they get this lead here. That thing was up in the zone. It's just spinning. And Desmond, unbelievable numbers with the bases loaded in his first slam.
Now Lombardozzi takes outside. It's 1-0. One run through 8. And now 5 runs in the last 3.
Well, it looked like the Phillies were going to steal a game tonight with 2 hits. And they were 1 out from it. That kid's a good player, boy.
No,
better and better.
We showed you his numbers with the bases loaded. He had not hit a grand slam until tonight. 2-0 pitch coming to Lombardozzi. Now it's 3-0.
Not a save situation. They'll probably get Soriano in this game anyway, though. He was getting ready.
Over to third, a base hit through the hole. And now Michael's probably shaking a little bit after that grand slam, so DeFreitas is starting to throw. 27 pitch inning. Suzuki doubled his last time. Pitches inside, 1-0. Solano, the backup catcher, is out of the on-deck circle. Phillies have won 6 straight here at Citizens Bank Park. They're hoping for number 7 in a row, but their work just got a little more difficult with that grand slam. Runner goes, pitches high. Well, he's all over the place now.
Yeah.
Fly ball center field. And Revere comes running in. And he makes the catch for the second out. So Solano will pinch hit. This is the 8th man to bat in this inning for the Nationals. Phillies will have the top of the order due up in their half of the 11th. Down by 4 at this point. Down and away. Well, this crowd of a little more than 38,000, excuse me, 39,594. They were into it because Kendrick was pitching so well through 7 2/3, and then Bastardo got a big out in the 8th inning. But the Nationals tied it in the 9th, and now here in the 11th, they've kind of quieted everybody. They've scored 4 runs on a grand slam by Ian Desmond. I think he may have swung at that one. Yes, he did, says Scott Barry. And it's 2-2.
Trying to hold his body up. Couldn't do it because the bat came through.
Got him. Final out is finally recorded here in the top of the 11th inning, but the damage is done in a big way. Ian Desmond, his first career grand slam. A slider that was up. He knew he at least gave them the lead, and he gave them the lead in a big way. Now we go to the bottom of the 11th. The top of the order is due up. Revere has a base hit, one of just 3 hits for the Phillies. It was back in the first. And he takes high. Base runners, base runners, base runners for the Phillies. That's what they need.
Your only hope is you got a guy out there in a non-save situation, maybe doesn't have the adrenaline rush that he would have.
Revere hits it toward right field. Jason Worth is there. And there's one out now in the 11th. And here comes Michael Young. Young homered his first time up. That the Phillies the 2-0 lead. And the only 2 runs they've scored tonight. Up until the 9th, it looked like those runs were going to stand up. Back toward the middle, over the mound, or I should say off the mound and into center field. A 1-out single. Young is 2 for 5. Well, just like the Nationals had their big guns coming up in their half of the 11th, the Phillies have the same coming up. Just 4 at-bats for Rollins against Soriano. He has 1 hit in those 4 ABs. Inside. Doesn't look like a whole lot faces this guy.
Soriano? He's a fastball slider cutter kind of guy. He's had some problems closing in other places. Last year, did a heck of a job stepping in for Mariano Rivera with the Yankees. He had problems with the Braves when he went over there and tried to do some of that.
Rollins pops it up. Rendon, the second baseman. And there are 2 outs. So the Phillies down to their final out. Ryan Howard's coming up. Howard has struck out 3 times tonight. He's also walked. Fastball and a big swing. It's 0-1. Phillies have already won this series against the Nats, but they would have loved, or they would love to finish off the sweep if they could. There goes Young. It's 0-2. No throw. Defensive indifference. And the 0-2 up high. They went to the same spot, maybe a little higher. It's 1-2. Phillies have the off day tomorrow, and then the Mets come to town for a 3-game series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then it's off to the West Coast for the final time this year. That's kind of odd in its own right.
Going to be finished all that stuff going out there by the end of June. Very beginning of July. And that includes Denver.
Some hardy souls still left in the ballpark. And the Phillies with one last chance to get something going here. Hard to come back from that gut shot that Ian Desmond threw their way in the top of the 11th. Way upstairs, 3-2.
Yeah, even if they just got a sacrifice fly out of it. But that grand slam, that's a crusher. He was really close to being struck out on that pitch right before it.
Now the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and the ball game is over. Phillies have to settle for winning 2 of 3 from the Washington Nationals as they lose in 11 innings tonight, 6-2. On Ian Desmond's grand slam. They managed only 4 hits. The Phillies did. Jason Worth drove in a couple runs. He tied the game in the top of the 9th inning against Jonathan Papelbon, and he is our Chevrolet player of the game. But he did not have our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. That came from the shortstop of the Washington Nationals, Ian Desmond.
Just showed the amazing numbers that he has with the bases loaded. He had never hit a grand slam home run until that slider right there for Michael Stutz. He hit it way out of the ballpark to deep left center field. That was your ball game right there, and that is our W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
So again, the Phillies take the series. They win 2 of 3. Their 6-game home winning streak comes to a close. That's when it's 6-2. We'll be back to talk more about it right after this.